Kansas City Chiefs. Thousands of tailgaters arriving hours before kickoff. The crowd inside the stadium, a capacity one of 77,000 plus for the Green Bay Packers and the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football. Hello again, everyone. Frank Gifford with Al Michaels and Dan Deerdorf. Important game for both the Packers and the Chiefs. The Chiefs are 5-2 in the tightly bunched AFC East-Western Division. The Raiders are one behind them at the moment. The Denver Broncos are there. The Chiefs win tonight, and they stay one game up on both. The Chiefs come in after a bruising loss to Miami last week. They come in without their royalty at quarterback tonight, Joe Montana. He will not play, and they have a totally revamped secondary. It won't be easy against the Green Bay Packers. They've won 3 in a row, and this is a good football team, particularly on defense, where Reggie White is beginning to pull things together for them there. They have an outstanding wide receiver in Sterling Sharp, and they are ready to play some football tonight. Al, if they need any more incentive, they look at the standings in the NFC Central. They need a win tonight to stay within 2 of the Detroit Lions, who are streaking there.
That's incentive. There are a lot of incentives for them tonight, Frank. It's the first time they've been on Monday Night Football since 1986, and Mike Holmgren said, for a number of reasons, this is a huge game for us. Frank talked about winning 3 in a row, and that comes on the heels of 2 devastating last-minute losses earlier in the season to Philadelphia and Minnesota, but they rebounded. And with Reggie White leading the defensive unit, that's the strength of the team. Mike Holmgren describes the offense as young. Translation, erratic and inconsistent, but very exciting with a great young quarterback in Brett Favre out of Southern Mississippi, and Sterling Sharp, who set an NFL record last year with 108 receptions. He's on that sort of pace again this year. They come in tonight to face Kansas City, Dan. They face the Chiefs. And for Green Bay, the good news is they do not see Joe Montana. They get no Montana.
Are you talking about Montana, the town, or the player?
I don't think they want to see either.
Well, and they are not going to see the player, and that's the reason a lot of folks were here to see Joe Montana, and he's not going to play tonight. But understand this. Granted, the Kansas City offense with Montana has been much more productive than with Dave Craig, and that means more yards, more first downs, more points, whether it be touchdowns or field goals. The one thing the Kansas City Chiefs do more with Dave Craig is run the football. Tonight, Marcus Allen looks to really be the main man for Kansas City. Watch tonight, though. The big factor in this game could be what you hear behind me right now. Remember 3 weeks ago when the Denver Broncos were here, their offense was neutered by this 80,000-plus crowd here at Arrowhead Stadium. It'll be interesting to see how the youngster, Brett Favre, and a young Green Bay offense tries to cope with this overwhelming noise.
Arrowhead Stadium not only sold out tonight, sold out for the entire season. They sold every seat by springtime. And Nick Lowry, who establishes a mark tonight, he now has played in more games than any other Kansas City Chief in history. To put it in the air, Robert Brooks and Marcus Wilson back to receive for the Green Bay Packers. And Nick Lowry sends it a yard deep. Robert Brooks, the second-year man from South Carolina, found a seam but got tripped up and is stopped at the 28-yard line. Good tackle by Fred Jones. And there is Fred Jones, who probably saved another 15 or 20 yards on that run back. Brett Favre was with Atlanta and then sent to Green Bay. Big pickup, 24 years old, and he is their man for the future. 10 TDs, 10 interceptions. Darrell Thompson is now their #1 running back. Edgar Bennett, the fullback, and a good receiver. Clayton is the former Dolphin. Sharp, a great wideout. And Jackie Harris, a much overlooked tight end. Offensively up front, Ken Rutgers was hurt last week. They were worried about him, but he has responded. Knee injury, he's back. Moran Winters is an ex-Chief. Galbraith is the ex-Miami Dolphin. And Tootie Robbins, the former Cardinal. A number of years not only in Phoenix, but before that St. Louis as well. Momentary delay as Benny Thompson of the Chiefs is assisted off the field. And now Favre and the Packers to take over at their own 20-yard line. The big news today in the National Football League, if you've not heard, the Cleveland Browns cut Bernie Kosar. They cut him. We will talk to Bernie Kosar live at halftime tonight. We'll also talk to Evander Holyfield live at halftime tonight. 1st and 10 at the 27-yard line. Favre throws, and it's complete up to the 43, and that's a first down. Jackie Harris, 4th year out of Northeast Louisiana, had a big year last year, but they overlooked him mainly because of Sterling Sharp. defensively now for Kansas City. You've got the great Neil Smith with Phillips, Saliamua, and Derek Thomas can play up or down. The three backers are Rogers, Simeon, and Martz, and a revamped secondary. Lewis, the veteran corner, with Dale Carter, and then Bayless and Kevin Ross at safeties. It's the first time in his life Kevin Ross has played free safety. 1st and 10 at the 43-yard line. And Thompson can't get out of the backfield. Dan Saliamua makes the tackle for a loss behind the line, a loss of 3.
We saw Green Bay with their first pass attempt. They went to their tight end, Jackie Harris. We may see them using Jackie Harris a lot tonight because of that revamped secondary, Al, that you spoke of, with Kevin Ross for the first time playing free safety. Either he is going to be locked up frequently with Jackie Harris, or it will be Martin Bayless, who has not been playing that much. But look at Kevin Ross, the free safety. Martin Bayless is 30, the strong safety.
On 2nd and 13. Favre, and that's the first catch of the night for Sterling Sharp, and the 51st catch of the season. He's tackled by Dale Carter at the 48-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 5. 1:45 into the game.
It's typical of the Favre to Sharp pass patterns. A little slant, something quick underneath, sometimes 3, 4, 5 yards downfield. They like to move him all over the field, get the ball to him, and then let him run with it. An outstanding runner after he catches the football.
3rd and 5 on the game's opening drive. Packers at their own 48. They send Sharp in motion. Favre comes the other way. Throws on the run and has it intercepted at the 30 by Kevin Ross. And Kevin Ross into Packer territory. One man to beat and can't beat him as he's tackled at the 23. He has never played free safety in his life. I think he's found a new home.
Well,
Remember thrown but ball by Favre.
Remember, Mike Holmgren told us how he has matured on the sidelines. After a mistake, I think I've gotten better in not doing what I'd like to do. Something tells me what he'd like to do to Brett Favre right now is put his hands around his throat, because that is a high school mistake by Brett Favre. Under pressure, just rolling to his right, and that is a football that a quarterback at any level knows better than to throw. In the National Football League, 100 times out of 100, that'll be picked off.
Rich Moran, the guard, saved a touchdown. He was the last man for Ross to beat. Here's Marcus Allen on 1st down. Spin move inside the 20, takes it down to the 17. He's tackled by George Kuntz. Dave Craig, a number of seasons with the Seattle Seahawks, with relative success up there, and then he came over to Kansas City now in his 2nd year with the Chiefs. Allen and Anders are the running backs. Burden and Davis the wideouts. Hayes, a good blocking tight end. Alt, Zott, Grunhard. Shields is a rookie from Nebraska, and Ricky Sigler will have his hands full tonight. He'll see a lot of Reggie White. At the 17, 2nd down and 5, and Marcus Allen has a nice hole to slip through. Takes it to the 10. It's a 1st down for Kansas City. He's tackled by Terrell Buckley, and Will Shields, the rookie, threw the block to spring him.
The Chiefs need a big night from Marcus Allen. Harvey Williams will not play tonight, so ordinarily it would be Williams and Allen kind of alternating, but they need to run the football to keep away the pass pressure from Reggie White and Tony Bennett. There's a good block over the right side. Sigler against Reggie White, and Reggie White, Dan, plays the run as well as he does the pass.
Maybe even better, if you can imagine that, because obviously we're dealing with one of the great pass rushers of all time. He is a complete football player.
It is 1st and goal, and nose of the ball is inside the 10. Allen, his 3rd straight carry, and can barely get on track as Johnny Holland makes the tackle. The Green Bay defense, and they are very tough. Down deep in their own territory, 3-man front. Reggie White, Yurkovich, and Matt Brock. The linebacker Simmons was their #1 draft choice, with Kuntz and Holland inside and Pop outside. Terrell Buckley and Roland Mitchell are the corners. Leroy Butler playing extremely well this year, and George Teague, a rookie who's worked his way into the starting lineup, their #1 pick from Alabama. On 2nd and goal, short drop, catch is made. It's J.J. Burton. He gets to the 5. It'll be 3rd down and goal. inside the 20-yard line. Here's how tough the Packers are this season. In a situation where the league scores almost half the time, Green Bay, as you can see, they've allowed touchdowns on only 17% of drives inside the 20, by far the best in the league. Keith Cash comes in as the tight end on the right side. Out of split backs on 3rd and goal. Craig lofts one into the end zone too far. Intended for J.J. Burden.
That was good work by Roland Mitchell, the cornerback on that side. He was tied up with Burden, and I'm not sure that Craig could have dropped that in even with a perfect throw where it might have been in there for the touchdown. This is a good job of playing the inside, but look at the recovery by Mitchell, and that ball just a half a step overthrown. It would have had to have been absolutely a picture of perfection for that to have been a Kansas City touchdown. Good reaction by Mitchell.
Nick Lowry now a 23-yard field goal attempt, eclipsing the record he had shared up until tonight with Gerald Wilson, the punter. And an easy one for him out of Brian Barker's hold. Ross's interception pays off. 5:18 into the game. The Chiefs take the early lead. For the second week in a row, Brett Favre having a pass intercepted early in the game. Last week on the game's second play, he audibled, and it was Mark Carrier. Kevin Ross, meanwhile, playing free safety tonight, had not intercepted a pass in 22 games. So he gets off the schneid and sets them up in a position where Lowry, who will kick off, kicks a field goal. The last interception for Kevin Ross was in the 1992 season opener, and he returned it 99 yards for a touchdown.
Maybe that's why they don't throw it over there anymore.
Yeah.
Well, one thing about Favre, I don't think he'll wallow in it. He may not even remember it by now. The kid is unfazed.
Here's a bouncing ball. It bounces first at the 19 and skips to the 3. Robert Bush goes into his own man.
Oh, boy.
He goes.
I think that was Benny Thompson, number 46 of the Chiefs. He hit the guy that was trying to block him so hard, he knocked down the ball carrier.
He was shaken up on the opening kickoff.
Now watch this. He's going to hit the blocker so hard, the blocker now. Now that's special team play, Benny.
Not a whole lot of jumping around either. That's just performance.
That's the same Benny who was shaken up on the opening kickoff and needed some extra time to get off the field. He's back.
Benny turned on the Jets there.
Yes, he did.
Good.
Whoa.
All right. Early, too.
Too early. 1st and 10 at the 19. 3-0 Kansas City. Thompson in motion. Favre chased by Smith and finally chased out of bounds, but not until he picks up about 7. ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Nissan. It's time to expect more from a car. Miller Lite, great taste, less filling. Can your beer do this? Sprint. They've got everything you need, local, long distance, and cellular, to let you be there now. And Thrifty Car Rental, historically known for low rates. 9:15 left first quarter, 3-0 Chiefs. Kansas City coming in 5-2. Green Bay 4-3. 2nd and 4 for the Packers. And here's Edgar Bennett. The Green Bay running game, really nothing to speak of at this point. Last year, Vince Workman was their main running back. They let him go. They brought John Stevens in from New England. He wasn't the answer. Mike Holmgren eventually sending him to Atlanta. So now they go back to Darrell Thompson in his 4th year and Edgar Bennett.
And it kind of changes the philosophy, too, for Mike Holmgren, who would like to go with that 2-setback 49er type offense, because Darrell Thompson is an eye running back, and that's about it for him. He's had a great numbers in Minnesota, but all out of the I formation, and that does change the passing game for Mike Holmgren.
3rd and 2. Sharp, the man in motion. And it's through Sharp's hands. Would have been a first down. He couldn't hold on. Dale Carter was behind him, and Green Bay forced the punt.
One of the great competitors in the National Football League there, Sterling Sharp. Don't think that smile on his face was one of amusement. That was more or less a little frustration coming through. This was not a perfect pass by far, but for Sterling Sharp, that's the kind of pass that he catches. It was behind him, and he had to spin for it. But more often than not, he'll make that catch. That's how good he is.
A little embarrassing.
Brian Wagner to punt. Dale Carter back for it. Carter lets it bounce.
What's new about that?
Yeah.
He does that with some regularity.
A 52-yard punt with 8:08 to go in the opening quarter. 3-0 KC. Our great pal, Billy Edwards, and you know him because we've shown Billy a number of times through the years, passed away today at the age of 82. I mean, one of the all-time great guys.
Over 20 years, he's walked the sidelines, college football and Monday Night Football, and God, we're going to miss him.
I called him Dad and meant it. We'll miss you more than anybody would know. This isn't easy tonight.
Kansas City taking over at the 20-yard line, and Dave Craig throwing it away. Willie Davis was the nearest receiver. 2nd down and 10.
One thing about Billy, he wouldn't want us slobbering around up here tonight.
Nope.
You people that never had a chance to meet Billy Edwards, you never met a man who cut a swath through life quite as wide as Billy. He lived hard, played hard, and we'll miss him hard.
On 2nd down and 10, Marcus Allen over the right side, and there's not much there as he takes it out to the 21-yard line. It is 3rd down and 9 as George Kuntz makes the stop.
One of the things that Dave Craig was uncomfortable was with that quick drop that Montana brought with the new 49er offense under Paul Hackett. So tonight they've kind of eased up on him a little. They're going to let him take a deeper drop. It was more comfortable with in Seattle, more like 6 or 7 yard drop rather than that 3 to 5.
There's Hackett on the right, Montana in the upper middle.
3rd and 9 from the 21-yard line. Craig, lots of pressure, looking to get rid of the ball, and holds on, and it winds up as a Green Bay sack, and Bryce Pop will get the credit for it. Number 95 finally able to take him to the AstroTurf.
Pressure all right, but also good coverage downfield.
And Bryce Pop, Frank, has 5.5 sacks coming into tonight. That makes 6.5, and this is the way a lot of them happen. They're hustle sacks. Craig really shows a great deal of agility, gets away from 3 or 4 Packers, and then finally has to go down under Pop. But that was just good, plain old-fashioned work by the Green Bay secondary.
Brian Barker to punt. Line of scrimmage is the 15. Robert Brooks back to accept it.
Shank.
Oh, yep, bad kick, and it's going to wind up in Kansas City territory. It is a 31-yard kick. Packers have it at the 46, 6:43 to go in the opening quarter. Kansas City 3, Green Bay nothing.
4-yard line. 1st and 10, and here comes Gary Ellis. Oh, yeah. That was beautiful.
In 1983, Green Bay and Washington combined for 95 points. If you said the Packers and Redskins, you got the right answer.
And in a stunning development today, Bernie Kosar, who recently inked that long-term multi-million-dollar contract, was cut by the Cleveland Browns. We will speak with Bernie Kosar live, and Evander Holyfield, again the heavyweight champion, live at halftime tonight. 1st down, Green Bay at the 46-yard line. Off the play fake, Favre throws, and well, the coverage was too good. Dale Carter got his arms around Mark Clayton. Interference.
Carter just didn't quite time it out. He started earlier in the year at left cornerback and moved to right cornerback tonight as Kevin Ross went to free safety. Let's look again at the coverage, strictly man for man. Good positioning there.
Pass interference, number 34.
He just gets
on the
back
defense.
into Clayton before the ball gets there.
And when you look at it on replay, I don't think there's any disputing the fact that Carter just got in there and came through the receiver well before the ball got there. An exciting look, though, tonight at a couple of the young and future stars in this league at corner. Carter for the Chiefs and Terrell Buckley for the Green Bay Packers.
11-yard penalty, first down, Green Bay at the 35. Here's Darrell Thompson, and he runs smack into Jaime Fields, number 59, after a gain of about 2 to the 34-yard line.
Will not be easy grinding out a lot of yards for the Green Bay Packers tonight on the ground. This is a Kansas City Chief ball club that's ranked number 2 against the run in the NFL. But this is a team, as you see, that's been playing well lately. 11 wins in their last 16. And it has been a while. You look all the way back there, 66 to 68. They need to run the ball effectively, though, to really get over the hump.
Yeah, the coach then was a guy named Lombardi. That's how long it's been. Second down and 8. And we've got Thomas coming across the line as the pass is incomplete, intended for Sharp.
You know, we talk about how Green Bay needs to improve their running game. What is it now? This is a team that hasn't had a 1,000-yard rusher since 1978. Terrell Middleton.
You're right.
1978 since the Packers have had a back get 1,000 yards, and now that we're into a 16-game season.
Offside. Right in on the defense, 5 yards, still second down.
1,000-yard seasons are a little more common than they used to be, and this is that's an incredibly long time.
Sure, all you have to do is average roughly 60-some-odd yards a game to do it, and there it is. Jim Taylor still holds the single-season rushing mark. It's incredible. 31 years later, 1407 in a much shorter season.
14 games.
Red Cashin, after announcing the penalty, spots it at the 29. It is second down and 4. Sharp in motion. The blitz is initially picked up, and then Favre buys more time and turns it into a first down.
Fine athletic move with good coverage downfield on Favre. This time he was not going to throw that thing up for grabs.
Al, you mentioned in your open that they play young. Well, there's one of the things that youth will bring you, that ability to move about and make something happen. And Frank, that's what Favre does right here. Look at that. That's
quick move to get around from Smith.
That's not just the grocery guy who got away from there either. That's Neil Smith,
the playground player.
5:25 to go in the quarter. 3-0 Kansas City. Thompson, big hole inside the 20, and is ridden down at the 15-yard line, about 1.5 yards shy of the first down. And it was Jackie Harris taking out Derek Thomas that time to spring him.
Got to look at why they like to let Thomas run from that I formation, about 7 yards deep, and he can really mortar from it. And at Minnesota, he's their all-time leading rusher out of the I formation. About a 6 or 7 yard deep set. He averaged over 5 yards a carry, 4,500 plus yards in Minnesota. They do sacrifice a little in the passing game from the I.
Second and 2. And they run it out of the straight I. And here's Thompson, and that should be enough for a first down. He's tackled by Tracy Rogers close to the 13-yard line.
You're an offensive coordinator. How do you make yourself run the ball on 2nd and 2? I would just have that urge on 2nd and short to want to put the ball up in the air every single time. Maybe this is why they don't want to put it up in the air. That's Derek Thomas, and this is an intriguing matchup tonight going against Ken Rutgers, the left tackle of Green Bay, who has not allowed a sack all year long. But Frank, it's that free down.
I know, but I think they're still with their script at this point. And both these teams script some 20 plays before they come into a game, and I think they kind of get stuck with it and they go with it. They're very disciplined about that.
I don't think that was on the script.
No, he has to find a new page here. Green Bay has to take a timeout. 4 minutes to go in the quarter. Rewrite. Kansas City leading 3-0. 4 minutes to go in the quarter. 1st and 10.
And here comes the crowd into play.
The fake to Thompson. Favre, room to roam. Taken down at the 6-yard line by Kevin Ross.
One thing about Kevin Ross, he's a tough guy, and he's also, needless to say, a very intelligent player to make a move over to safety from corner with only 3 days of practice. That's not easily done when you consider that it's not his normal position. He has no experience at it, and he's going after a much bigger guy. Favre, a 220-pounder, and Favre doesn't go to the ground. That's a good hit by Ross and good aggressive running by Brett Favre, but Kevin Ross has a real load on his shoulders tonight.
Sharp in motion, 2nd and 3, and not a lot of room for Thompson. Stopped after a gain of 1, takes it to the 5. Sally Amua to break up the play. It'll be 3rd down and 2 at the 5.
Green Bay has been one of the highest scoring first quarter teams in the league. And they now are leaving the script on 3rd and 2. The numbers we were talking about a moment ago, the script has worked well for them. This one is off the pages, I believe.
They ought to start scripting the 4th quarter by the look at
The way they've
their lack of production.
They usually like to number 84, Shannon Sharp.
Sharp is in motion. He rolls that way, throws, and it's incomplete. Sharp, the intended receiver, covered by Dale Carter.
Sterling, of course, and sure Shannon is looking on his brother with the Denver Broncos, but they love to go to the man when they need something. And rightfully so. Well, he was there too.
Phew. That was that. The scoreboard guy was already starting to punch up the numbers.
Yeah.
Favre never got a chance to set himself. Threw on the run, a little bit hurried, and it just got away from him.
23-yard field goal attempt by Chris Jackie, one of the best in the league. Brian Wagner to hold. And Jackie, a guy who doesn't get a lot of publicity because, well, the Green Bay Packers are really just coming into their own. We mentioned at the top, first time in 7 years on Monday Night Football, and they're tied 3-3. 23 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Arrowhead Stadium, Kansas City, gorgeous night, crystal clear, temperature about 50 degrees. Sold out as always at Arrowhead. Team tied 3-3. And Chris Jackie to kick off for the Green Bay Packers. Ron Dickerson is back to receive. His father is the head football coach at Temple in Philadelphia. And instead of Dickerson, this is Kimball Anders coming over to accept it. And Anders outmatched the 20, the 30. Anders near midfield, run out of bounds at the 50-yard line by George Teague. So Anders backed up, took it away from Dickerson, and it turns out to be a beauty for the Chiefs.
Amber's a good running back, good all-around athlete. Came up as a free agent, you might recall, in '91.
As a kickoff cover team, that's exactly what you want to do. Pin them up against the sideline. Supposedly, you reduce the amount of field that they can use effectively. Well, so much for that. A total breakdown on the right side of Green Bay's coverage, and just good alert running by Kimball Anders to take it all the way across
on
the
his
field.
first return of the season.
Normally that does not work, cutting all the way across the field on a kickoff return.
Only the second return of his brief career as Marcus Allen takes the ball to the Green Bay 48-yard line. It was a 47-yard return. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. 3-3 the score.
Big Dan Saliamua there in the middle, enjoying a chance to watch the Kansas City offense and get a blow on the sideline. He's had a couple big plays already in this game.
Two setbacks in there now, both Marcus Allen and Kimball Ambers, good receivers. Now Allen will go in the slot to the right of quarterback Dave Craig. He can work as a flanker as well as out of the backfield.
2nd and 8, everybody out into the pattern, and Craig has to scramble, and Craig just about gets back to the line of scrimmage where Reggie White wraps him up. No gain.
One thing about Dave Craig, when he moves, the Packers are thinking one thing only: knock the ball away from Dave Craig. It's even more important than the sack. Try to get the ball to come loose. Dave Craig does not do a great job of protecting the football. He's fumbled more than any player in NFL history. And you know, Reggie White and his defensive compadres have talked all week long about maybe the difference in this game can be separating Craig from the football.
3rd down and 8 at the 48-yard line. Craig floats one, caught by Willie Davis at the 32-yard line of first down. George Teague with the coverage.
And you saw the 7-step drop of Dave Craig. He is a deep pocket passer. He's tried to adjust here at Kansas City under Paul Hackett's offense that he brought from the 49ers. And so tonight they are letting him take that deeper drop, and he is right on the numbers to Willie Davis. Good pocket passer, Dave Craig, and he illustrates it right there.
Ball didn't look like much, did it? But it sure got there.
First down at the 32-yard line. Marcus Allen through the middle for about 3. And that'll be the final play of the quarter. It's 3-3 after 1. And back we come with the second quarter of Monday Night Football after this commercial message and a word from our ABC stations. Already a tough night for the field judge, Don Dorkowski, as he gets his ankle wrapped on the near sideline. We start the second quarter. It is second down and 7 for the Chiefs at the Green Bay 29-yard line. Game is tied 3-3. The play clock is ticking down as Dave Craig splits his receiver to the right and then throws incomplete. It is simply dropped by Freddie Jones. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, and Dan Dierdorf. Monday Night Football in Kansas City. And the Monday Night Football is being brought to you by Little Caesars Pizza, where you always get 2 great pizzas for 1 low price. And Pontiac and your local Pontiac dealer, we are driving excitement. Third down and 7. All the scoring in the game attributed to the feet of Nick Lowry and Chris Jackie, each with the field goal. Game tied 3-3. Green Bay showing blitz, but they back off, and still the pass is batted away. Batted all the way back to the 50. It looked like David Grant, the backup defensive end, number 98, swatted it.
Green Bay with a little deception with their defense there. They came up and kind of convinced Dave Craig they were going to come with the blitz. He got his mind set on delivering it out in the flat, and that's exactly what he did. There's no blitz. His receiver set up for the blitz and is batted away by David Grant.
So now Nick Lowry to set up for a field goal attempt of 47 yards. Joe Montana and the Kansas City coaches looking on from upstairs. Brian Barker to hold it. 47-yard attempt, and the kick is blocked, and it's picked up by Doug Evans, who came flying through, and Green Bay takes over at the 46-yard line.
Well, that's about as bad a protection for a kick as you're going to see. That could have been blocked by a couple of the Packers. Look, coming from your left side. No chance at all.
They almost went past it. All right, take a look up here in this corner of the screen. Here comes the penetration inside. And when you take a look at Doug Evans, he's going to have to slow down. Watch Evans right here. He throws on the brakes. He's trying to keep from going past him before the ball gets kicked. Nick Lowry was very late in getting to the ball after it was placed on the ground.
Green Bay at the 46-yard line. Favre to throw, and the juggling catch is made. A 9-yard pickup to the 45-yard line. Right in the middle there was the tight end, Jackie Harris, for his second catch of the game.
Tracy Rogers, the linebacker, trying to provide the coverage on Jackie Harris. A dangerous tight end. He can get deep on you very quickly. 55 receptions a year ago. A little bit off that this year, but over the years, and he's been around now 4 years, he has shown tremendous ability to get open and get open deep.
You can see on the Chiefs sidelines that Lowry and Barker don't appear to have worked out whatever it was that went wrong on that last field goal attempt.
It's a little toss to Edgar Bennett. He's got the first down as Edgar Bennett is forced out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Tracy Rogers with the tackle. By the way, one other thing we should mention here on the preceding series, when Dave Craig was scrambling and he was stopped for no gain by Reggie White. No gain is a sack, as the shaken up chief is Tracy Rogers. So Reggie gets credit for career sack number 131.5, all-time leader in that department.
Look at Parker and Lowry are still talking about this. It was really unusual on that field goal attempt that the ball was on the ground, and Lowry didn't even make his start to kick the field goal until the ball was already placed. It was not great protection up front. As a matter of fact, it wasn't very good at all, but for some reason Nick acted like it was a surprise that the ball was on the ground, and he was very late getting to it.
Yeah, but Lonnie Martz, number 51, Dan, is not supposed to step out for that man.
Well, here's Lowry back here. The rush is going to come around the corner, but watch the ball and watch how it's on the ground, and the ball's down, and Lowry should have been moving long before that. He has to be in motion towards his holder as the ball is in the air on its way to the holder, and for some reason Nick didn't even start towards the ball till it was already placed. That's going to get blocked more often than not.
Rogers appears to be all right. The outside left linebacker, and a good one, the leading tackler on the team.
He's replaced by Jaime Fields, rookie from Washington. Green Bay at the 40-yard line. Early second quarter, game tie 3-3.
Don't you love Favre leaning into the huddle? You can almost see him in the sandlot saying, hey guys, you go deep over there and you break it over. That's what he'd like to do.
You can't talk to the kid without liking him.
Good play fake, and he throws underneath to Bennett, but Bennett is right there in the arms of Lonnie Martz after a very short gain to the 38-yard line.
Good looking play for a yard, was it? Beautiful play fake, wonderful protection up front, just textbook right up to the time that they threw the ball for a 1-yard gain.
Working on Rogers.
Well, they don't go away from number 84 very often or for very long. Top of your screen, Sterling.
2nd and 9. Delay, Bennett. And Edgar Bennett to the 33-yard line before he's pushed back. Edgar Bennett, second-year running back out of Florida State. Good matchup next week. The Buffalo Bills have the best record in the National Football League. Their win yesterday in overtime makes them 7-1. Kelly and company with Thomas and Smith and Bennett against the Pittsburgh Steelers, who spotted Cincinnati a 16-0 advantage yesterday and then roared from behind. Buffalo at Pittsburgh next Monday night.
Pittsburgh with two of the best defensive players in the league, Greg Lloyd and Rod Woodson. I'm anxious to see both those guys.
3rd down, short 4 at the 33-yard line. Here come the Chiefs. Favre scrambles. Throws incomplete. Sharp was right there at the marker, and he was covered by Carter.
Good coverage by Carter. Favre had a chance to get it in, but it would have been a difficult throw, and he was unable to complete it. Let's watch again. Favre was thinking about running at this point. Sharp gave him a little opening, but Carter was right there.
I think Brett Favre needs to go sit on the bench, cross his legs, and take a couple of deep breaths. It just looks like a guy who's pressing a little bit, a guy trying maybe just a little too hard.
Here's Chris Jackie. He's made one 51-yarder this year. Can he make a second? You bet. 51 yards for Chris Jackie.
Good looking kick. That just jumped right up off his foot and still had the distance. Usually you're kicking the ball that far, the trajectory is low, not for Jackie. And dead center.
Harvey Williams is okay. He's inactive tonight, but it was a very scary scene in Miami. He was on the field for 15 to 20 minutes last week. Nobody knew what was going to happen, and then the report came back that it was simply a concussion. And it's conceivable he could have played tonight, but the Chiefs, just playing it conservatively, have decided to keep him out, and he will play next week against the Raiders. Jackie, who just gave Green Bay a 6-3 advantage to kick, sends it down into the corner right at the goal line. Dickerson is there. And Dickerson starts to stumble, gets back to the 18. Joe Montana up in the Chiefs coach's box. And we talked about his level of frustration this year.
It's been real frustrating for me because I had a serious injury on my elbow that kept me out for a lot longer than I would have wished, and now to be back on the field and having the taste of it again, and enjoying my time here in Kansas City, and then all of a sudden to have something like this to happen and keep happening and be able to get in for a part of a game and then come out, and you know, I'm as tired of it as anybody else.
Well, Joe's pitched only 2 complete games this season, and this is the Chiefs' 8th game of the year. He probably will not be back next week. Kimball Anders up to the 22. We had talked to Joe about that, and the indications would be probably not next week at the Raiders. He is hoping to be back by the Chicago game here on the 21st. They have Chicago and Buffalo coming in on back-to-back weekends.
And the frustrating part about it, Dan, you know, a hamstring, particularly for a back, and particularly when you're over 30, I mean, there's no way of predicting how long it's going to be. It could be 2 weeks, 3 weeks. It could be much longer than that.
You see a good look there at the huge difference in production between Montana and Craig in the 80 drives this season. In fewer drives, Montana's generated 70 points, Craig but 43.
2nd and 6, and Craig hits the tight end, Jonathan Hayes. Seldom used as a receiver, but a great blocker, and Hayes is out of bounds up at the 30-yard line as he makes his 9th catch of the year. He catches about a ball a game.
How about Dave Craig here? Here's the guy that really has had the misfortune of being in Kansas City, in place here when Joe Montana arrives, and a lot of fans throw their hands up in anguish when Craig goes into a ball game, and in reality you're talking about a guy that's on the verge of going over the 30,000-yard limit in career completion yardage, and this guy is a fine quarterback.
And he's going to air one out here, and incomplete as Davis looks for a flag and doesn't get it. Terrell Buckley with the coverage, and it turns out to be perfect coverage.
I tell you, Buckley was playing the ball, incidental contact maybe, but no flag. A good call and well played by Buckley. And the ball underthrown and thrown over the right shoulder of Willie Davis, but Buckley playing the ball. That'd be hard to throw a flag on that.
I'm telling you, the crowd is reacting to Buckley's arms and hands, but as you look at it, I don't think he made contact with Davis. It looks like he's grabbing him. It looks like he has his hand on him, but when you watch it slowly, I don't think he touched him.
He did after the ball and hit the surface, but not before.
Oh, I agree with you. I think that was good coverage by Buckley.
No play here. Movement and contact in the line on 2nd and 10. Let's take another look here.
Yeah, the first time I looked at this, I thought Buckley grabbed him, and that should have been interference. But then you watch it again. Look at his hand. He doesn't touch the guy. He's not touching him. That's remarkable work by Buckley on being able to run right beside a guy with his hands and arms on both sides of the receiver and not touch him.
Before the snap, false start, number 79 on the offense, 5 yards, still 2nd down. The defense is warned about being in the neutral zone.
Okay, Red Cashin sums that up. He didn't touch him until he got his face mask at the end of the play.
But the ball had already gone by. Now that's a different issue.
Right.
Well, we're addressing the interference or lack thereof.
Yep. 2nd down and 15. 10:34 to go first half. Green Bay leading 6-3. That's Todd McNair, 48 in the game in the backfield. He blocks for Marcus Allen. Marcus up to the 27-yard line. Bryce Pop makes the tackle. It's going to set up a 3rd and long. Dan talking about Dave Craig. The irony is Craig was going to be the savior. Steve DeBerg had taken him to the playoffs in 90 and 91, and they said Craig's the guy. He's the guy with the big backs with Okoye and Word, and that's going to be the difference. That wasn't the difference. So now they bring Montana in, and in a way, Craig now has to run sort of a hybrid offense, an offense designed for Montana, but he has to come in and implement it.
And because of that, Al, he's worked with 3 different offensive coordinators over the past 3 years.
3rd and 13, and the Packers jump. Marcus Allen makes the catch, and he does not get the first down. He's a little short of the first. You're going to have an interesting situation here. Do you want it 4th and 1 at the 39, where you're almost compelled to kick, or you get 5 yards on the penalty? It's going to be 3rd down and 8.
You're going to take the 3rd and 8.
So that's the choice for Marty Schottenheimer as Mike Holmgren checks it out. It's going to be 3rd and 8, Marty, or 4th and 1. That's your option here.
We saw a good look at the end of that play of the old bull and the young bull. Marcus Allen with the football and rookie George Teague trying to make the tackle, which he ultimately did. But I think he saw that Marcus still had a little movement left in him. This was a good matchup. Marcus puts a move back to the inside, and Teague gets left almost holding air, but comes back in and makes a very interesting tackle in this spot.
On the subject of interesting, the Chiefs now want a measurement. This is a pretty interesting deal for this point in the game. It's going to be 4th and inches or 3rd and 8.
Man, how are they going to go for it inside their own
yard?
40?
I would think.
How are they going to go for it inside their own 40?
They ask for the measurement. They get it. They would need that much unless they want to decline the penalty.
This would be an aggressive call by Marty Schottenheimer to refuse the penalty and go for it on
He won't do it.
4th down. That would be real aggressive.
Offside on the defense. The play does not result in a 1st down. They take the 5-yard penalty. 5 yards, it'll still be 3rd down. Offside was on the right defensive end.
They were very fortunate to get this spot, too. Allen's knee down. And they mark it. Give a little edge on that.
Clearly shy of the 1st down.
Yeah.
But there's no way they're going to go on 4th and a foot even.
No. Keep in mind, Marty Schottenheimer was a defensive coordinator before he became a head coach. That violates every principle of defensive coordinator-dom.
I like that. 3rd and 8 at the 32. 9.5 to go in the half. 6-3. Green Bay. And a catch is made at the 37, but that's not a 1st down. He hits J.J. Burton underneath. George Teague is there. So on the 3rd and 8, you got to try to pick up the 1st.
Rumbled by the crowd, but Greg went to the man that was open. The man just set up short of the 1st down.
The crowd just doesn't understand 5-yard pass routes when you need 9 yards and 8 yards. It's, quite frankly,
I understand why they don't understand.
Neither do I. And I think we're saying the same thing.
Here's Barker to kick. Brooks back to receive it. 24-yard line, and Brooks nearly broke it, but gets tackled by Todd McNair. Terrell Buckley's days as a punt returner are over. It is Brooks for the job from now on. 8:35 to go in the half.
Some magnificent work on the line. Watch Reggie White throw this underarm in, and when he senses Sigler plays it, throw in clear out of the picture. Just watch it. This is called the rip, the underarm. See, throws that right arm, and when he senses Sigler is out of position and off balance, he comes back to the inside. That is a 315-pound man that Reggie White discarded like yesterday's newspaper.
And this is Bennett taking the pass over the middle, a wide open Bennett. He gets to the Kansas City 48-yard line. That's a gain of 14. He's tackled by Simeon.
I wanted to show that to you because so many defensive linemen get one move, and they're standing there before the snap of the ball, and they say, I'm going to take this, I'm going to get the rip, or I'm going to go upfield. The great ones don't even know what they're going to do. They only react to the weakness that they sense in the man across from them. And that's exactly what Reggie White showed us right there.
That still frame at the beginning of that looked like a sumo contest, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. I'd just as soon be someplace else than be across from Reggie White.
48-yard line on 1st down, going nowhere is Darrell Thompson as Kevin Ross comes up from the secondary to stop him.
Playing across from Reggie White it's almost when the game's over, even if he's beating you for a couple sacks, you almost walk up and say thanks for letting me be out here and just test myself against you.
And he has been so disappointed with his numbers up in Green Bay, and well, he really kind of exploded last week against Chicago. And yet Mike Holmgren was telling him all along, you're doing the job we brought you in to do. You're making other players along that line even better.
And never underestimate that, Frank. That might be more valuable than your individual production.
Favre on 2nd and 10, and he hits the tight end. That's Jackie Harris, who's the open man at the 40-yard line. Kevin Ross makes the tackle. It will set up a 3rd and 2 with under 7 minutes to play in the half, and it is 6-3 Green Bay.
Frank, there aren't many players who've come along who just their mere presence elevate the play of those around them. You've seen some, I've seen some, Al, you've seen some, but Reggie White is definitely one of those players.
We had 7 sacks against Chicago a week ago by 6 different players.
Which is a good part of the reason that Green Bay signed him to begin with, in addition to his obvious playing skills.
You're exactly right, Al.
The Packers call a timeout, and now it's time for our regular feature on what's new in the world of sports science and technology.
A look behind the...
Green Bay has a 3rd and 1, and the Chiefs are in this position right now. They have yet to stop an opponent on 3rd and 1 this season, and they're the only team in the league without a 3rd and 1 stop. Meanwhile, Green Bay tonight is 0 for 4 on 3rd down. At the 39, fake handoff, and a little toss underneath to the tight end, Jackie Harris. A little shovel job for a 1st down. He's tackled by Bayless at the 28-yard line.
Well designed, short yardage play. Favre could have got the 1st down on his own. And he probably got more yardage by the little flip to Jackie Harris. As Harris coming off the line of scrimmage, he fakes the block, releases from the block, gets himself a passing plane. And Favre decides to go with the flip, and they get the 1st down. Well designed play.
Looks like that play was designed intentionally to go right at Derek Thomas to capitalize on how aggressive he is in getting after the quarterback. He let go of Harris.
He is, without a doubt, one of the best receivers ever to play this game, and I don't think I overstate that. He does amazing things, but I don't know that he did this one.
Right foot. I think that's one of those deals that it was so beautiful that he got the benefit of the doubt.
So a goal line stand now for Kansas City as Bennett goes next to nowhere. Stopped by Neil Smith, and Kansas City trying to get the crowd jazzed up again. The question is, does he have possession with both feet down? One is clearly down. Is the back foot down?
Zero in on the right foot.
Oh, and at top speed, you're not going to take that away from him.
And if you're the official on the spot, you do exactly what the official there did. You award him the catch. You award him the catch. And for those of you that still remember instant replay, did we see conclusive evidence to overturn it? No, I don't think we did.
And it goes in the highlight reel.
Second and goal. Favre falls down and then just throws it away.
That's an ineligible receiver.
Well, Favre fell down the play before. On the 1st down run off right guard, he fell down trying to hand it off that time, and now he falls down on back-to-back play.
And Kansas City wanted a penalty because the nearest receiver was Harry Galbraith. And when you wear number 76,
I guess they're ruling that he threw this away towards the line of scrimmage. But he certainly looked to me like he was trying to hit his right guard, Harry Galbraith.
The only thing was he, at that time, was out of the pocket.
3rd and goal. That's Shine.
Boy, Lonnie Martz, I think, got the fumble, and he could have gotten up. He could have scooped that baby up and maybe gone a long way.
Thomas and Joe Phillips had him in a sandwich, and Lonnie Martz recovered it.
Derek Thomas was the first man to touch him.
And he was the one that jarred it loose.
And Lonnie Martz could have picked that ball up and run for a long, long way.
Thomas pulling on that left arm, and out comes the ball, and here's Lonnie Martz making sure he recovers it, but he had a lot of time to pick it up and move upfield with it.
Kansas City at the 14-yard line with 4:45 to go in the half. Marcus Allen for a gain of 7 after the 21-yard line. Tackled there by Johnny Holland. And so the Green Bay Packers had a 1st and goal at the 2 after the sensational catch by Sharp and wind up losing the football.
This is a learning experience for Brett Favre. He has been some places and seen some things, but he has not been to Arrowhead. where 80,000 people make a whole lot of noise down on the goal line. He's not been chased around by Neil Smith and Derek Thomas, and it's a struggle right now for the kid.
2nd and 4. Kimball Anders just across the 20, minimal gain. It'll be 3rd down and 3 with under 4 minutes to go in the first half. And the offensive unit gathering around and trying to get the things sorted out.
2 Green Bay turnovers, 1 an interception by Brett Favre on their first possession of the game. A poor throw. We'll leave it at that.
I think Mike Holmgren was just stepping in there and saying, look, guys, we're doing all right. Everything's under control. We've turned over the football. We've moved the football on them. Let's keep it together. And he's a very quiet, a very cool guy, but Mike Holmgren also has a temper.
3rd and 3. Craig throws. Tight end Keith Cash makes the catch, but not a first down.
You know, the crowd booed when on 3rd and 9 they ran a 6-yard pattern. I wonder what they're going to do when on 3rd and 3 they run a 2-yard pattern. If they had 3rd and 6 inches, they might lateral behind the line of scrimmage and try to run a play for 3 inches.
They're going to bring the sticks all the way across the field. It appeared that he did not have it, at least when they initially put the ball down. But now I'm taking a look at the spot.
Yeah, they're cutting it close.
Very close.
Leaving themselves very little margin for error.
3:16 remaining in the half, and they're short of the first down. So Kansas City will be forced to kick. Marty Schottenheimer, boy, he was as shocked as anybody tonight. Of course, he was Bernie Kosar's coach at Cleveland. And if you haven't heard, if you joined us late, the stunning news out of Cleveland: Bernie Kosar cut by the Browns. We will talk to Bernie Kosar live at halftime tonight. Evander Holyfield, Dan's going to talk to him as well. Among the things to be discussed, clearly, the crazy scene with the parachuters.
I hope you saw Evander Holyfield when he opened up our show with the "Are you ready for some football?" and took off his sunglasses and showed us all a pair of swollen eyes.
Well, not only was Marty Schottenheimer Bernie Kosar's coach, they went to 2 AFC championship games together. One on a 12-4 season.
Barker to kick. Brooks back to accept it, and he calls for a fair catch at the 34-yard line, and that's where the Green Bay Packers take over after a 43-yard punt. Kansas City.
A new look here, huh?
Yeah.
Looking what that haze is, that is barbecue smoke. That has come over the top of the stadium down onto the field.
There can't be a stadium in the NFL that smells any better than Arrowhead.
If you're into barbecue.
Oh, they get here early. They get here in mass. You're talking about 30,000 people on the parking lots 3-4 hours before the Monday night game. They have a good time here in Western Missouri.
Sold out for the season. Far that short drop, and that's knocked away. Pass intended for Sharp. Lonnie Martz knocks it down.
Good play by Martz. Martz, who is beginning to become quite a forcer at linebacker. Former safety at Tulane University, made the switch. Shows the agility of a secondary man.
Second and 10. Bennett. And Edgar Bennett works his way nicely out to the 45-yard line, and he fights his way for a first down. He's tackled by Lewis with 2:50 remaining in the half. Remember, the Packers have used 2 of their timeouts along the way, so they've got 1 remaining plus the 2-minute warning.
Boy, Rodgers comes on the blitz. He's unblocked. It's the perfect defense to call for that play, and Bennett just puts a little move on him at the line of scrimmage and forces him to miss.
Yeah, he was the leading rusher coming into tonight for Green Bay, also their second leading receiver. This is his first year of seeing starting action.
Favre throws underneath and incomplete. Bennett started to slip as he was ready to accept the screen pass. Joe Phillips put the pressure on Brett Favre.
Not one of your better looking screens.
There's a good looking player though, Frank and Al, Ken Rutgers. He's more than holding his own tonight against Neil Smith. He hurt his knee in the game last week against Chicago, and there was some question as to how effective he would be here tonight, but he's had a good solid first half against one of the game's better defensive ends in Neil Smith. Neil hasn't tried to feint and draw that offensive lineman into jumping off sides. He's normally good for about one of those a game.
2nd and 10. They run a wraparound draw, and it's a beauty to Thompson, who gains 21 yards to the 34-yard line. Favre slipping the ball in on a wraparound play and fooling the Chiefs, and it's a first down as we go to the 2-minute warning.
And good, strong running once again by former Minnesota All-American. He just looks for people to powder into.
Kansas City, the Chiefs coming in with a mark of 5-2 and trying to remain all alone on top in the AFC West. Denver winning yesterday, Raiders winning yesterday. Tight battle. They are 5-3, and Green Bay meanwhile trying to keep pace with Detroit and stay a game and a half behind. Lions are 7-2. Pack comes in 4-3. First down, 34-yard line. Favre fires, and it is almost intercepted by Dale Carter. Good coverage. Derek Thomas knocking Favre to the turf.
Really good work by Derek Thomas. His initial job is to keep the guy across from him from getting out into the pattern. That's Jackie Harris. Look how he plays Harris, and then finally comes up upfield, gets a good burst, gets a good shot on Favre, and that ball hit Carter right in the hands. Double duty there for Derek Thomas.
2nd and 10 at the 34. Green Bay up 6-3. Good ball handling, catch made, and it's Mark Clayton, and he wants a penalty, and there is a flag that comes in. He contends it was a late hit by Dale Carter. He caught it at the 21-yard line.
Good, strong throw by Brett Favre. A deep out to Clayton. And Clayton timed his out pattern to pick up the yardage for the first down.
Unnecessary roughness, number 34 on the distance.
And Clayton will get the call. Let's take a look at it again. Good
First
drive by
down.
Clayton. Breaks to the outside. Unnecessary roughness. Well, they call almost anything out of bounds today. I don't know about that.
Clayton was a couple feet out of bounds when Carter hit him, but it was hardly a decapitating type shot.
It is first and goal with the ball right on the 10-yard line, and Favre flips it underneath. The catch is made by Jackie Harris, and he is battered down at the 4.5-yard line. That's what it'll give him forward progress. 2 with a minute and 35, and the clock ticking down. Again, the Packers have just one timeout remaining.
How's that for effort by Jackie Harris? Maybe the quickest upfield burst in the NFL is Derek Thomas. Sometimes that burst can take you too far. In that case, 3 yards past Brett Favre. Effective work by Tootie Robbins, the right tackle.
2nd and goal. Favre guns it into the end zone, incomplete, intended for Sharp, and Martin Bayless might have gotten a hand on it.
Broken up by Martin Bayless.
Well, if there's been a tradition over the years of one constant here in Kansas City, it has been tremendous play by their defensive secondary, and we're seeing an awful lot of that in the first half here tonight.
And the revamp, but too. Bayless coming in tonight, taking over the strong safety position, and a good play there.
1:01 left in the half. Green Bay up 6-3. 3rd and goal. Just inside the 5-yard line. And a little flip to Sharp, and Sharp is knocked out of bounds by Carter. So Carter saves the touchdown at the 1-yard line. And Chris Jackie starts onto the field, and we'll wait and see what Holmgren wants as Favre shows Holmgren just how far they have to go.
He might have just cheated a little on what he showed Holmgren too. I think it's more like a yard. Favre obviously wants to go for it.
I'll guarantee you that when Sterling Sharp caught that football, he thought he was going to get in the end zone without that much problem. Dale Carter, that's a great play.
And Green Bay takes a timeout to think about this. Back, Brett Favre showing Holmgren he's got that much to the end zone.
Well, he wants to go for it. There's no question about it. A little over a yard, and I think cooler heads prevail, and Chris Jackie's going to come on.
So Jackie, who has made 23-yarder and a 51-yarder. Well, he was approximating the distance. And now Kansas City takes a timeout.
And what I talk about with the Kansas City special team out there right now is be alert for some type of a trick play. Be alert for some time. That's Kurt Schartenheimer. He's going to tell them, watch out for the fake. It's a possibility.
The Green Bay Packers, an 18-yard field goal attempt by Chris Jackie here is good as they tack on 3 more, and 3 Jackie field goals to 1 for Lowry has given the Packers a 9-3 lead with 53 seconds remaining in the first half.
We've been through this field goal scenario before. Denver, Kansas City.
Yes, sir. Lowry had 5 that night.
Yeah, it was the home team that was kicking the field goals.
All right, halftime coming up very shortly. And again, a lot happening tonight. You're looking at Bernie Kosar. He is in Cleveland. He was cut today in an astonishing move. Astonishing in the sense that nobody could have predicted this. And we will talk to Bernie at halftime. And there is the heavyweight champion of the world, Evander Holyfield, who's in L.A., and he will be with us at halftime as well.
What a great fight that was, too.
One of the best.
So a lot happening when we get to the break here, as the Packers and Chiefs have at it at Arrowhead Stadium. Season at the halfway mark. Buffalo with the best record in the league. We'll see them next week. Buffalo is 7-1. Kansas City with a victory tonight will go to 6-2 and remain on top in the AFC West. Detroit will remain on top in the NFC Central regardless of the outcome here, but Green Bay trying to keep pace, and they'd be a game and a half behind.
Detroit is on some roll.
Yeah. Ron Dickerson back to receive Jackie's kickoff. And the Chiefs will come out to the 20-yard line. The Chiefs have 2 timeouts at their disposal and 53 seconds on the clock. Jackie, in 4 consecutive seasons, making 3/4 of his field goal attempts or better. And another one of those Packers. It's not only the absence of, let's say, Monday Night Football for them, but they haven't been a part of CBS's big game coverage because of the way they've been playing through the years. But now all of a sudden the Packers, especially with a win tonight, this is a very important game for them to win at Kansas City, to make it 4 in a row. A lot of people are going to take notice of Green Bay.
Well, as well they should. They're a solid football club. They're a little inconsistent on offense, but that comes with the kid that's playing quarterback. The absence of an all-pro running back, but they're solid on defense, and this is an unhappy group of Chief faithful here at Arrowhead.
They've been murmuring a little bit. Some of the calls, very conservative calls throughout the entire first half, and
down 9-3.
wants to go inside, get regrouped. Green Bay got on a 6-game winning roll at the end of last season and just missed winning the division by a loss to Minnesota in the final week of the season. They've come into tonight 3-game winning streak.
So they end the first half with a couple of kneel downs and are satisfied not to go for it with 53 seconds remaining in the half.
And 2 timeouts.
Yeah. And a great field goal kicker in Nick Lowry.
Very strange.
So be it. 9-3 at the half. Back we come with halftime activities after this message from the NFL and a word from our ABC stations. We start the second half at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Sellout crowd as always, and 4 field goals in the first half. 3 of them by the Packers by Chris Jackie, who will kick off to Kansas City to start the third quarter. Green Bay on top 9-3. Packers electing to, on 4th and goal from the 1, go for 3 instead of trying for the touchdown. And it's Ron Dickerson back to receive the second half kick. Here we go. Dickerson at the 5-yard line. And takes it only back to the 19. The ball is loose, but the play is over. Play is over. It is Kansas City's ball. K.O. Coleman makes the tackle.
First down for Kansas City.
ABC's Monday Night Football is being brought to you by My Life, a new film from Columbia Pictures. Budweiser, fresh, pure, natural, proud to be your bud. And Ford and your Ford dealer, have you driven a Ford lately? Kansas City, City of Fountains. Dave Craig is 5 for 10 for only 35 yards as he goes back, and his 11th pass is his 6th completion. Keith Cash, and getting a hold of his shirt was Wayne Simmons to stop him.
It's really it's a short passing game that's in effect for the Kansas City Chiefs here tonight. But in reality, Dave Craig has a good touch on the long ball. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numbers for the first half. And Al touched on it. Look at that. Only 59 yards total offense for the Kansas City Chiefs in the first half. Luckily, no turnovers in the game, or they'd be trailing by more than that.
And a net of 28 yards.
Really?
Throwing the ball.
That's weak.
2nd and 7, and Craig going deep and had it in there. Flag goes down, and Willie Davis is going to get an interference call on Roland Mitchell. So the Chiefs will come up toward midfield after the flag is thrown.
Craig trying to go deep to the leading receiver for the Chiefs. Willie Davis takes an outside
number 47 on the defense.
Roland Mitchell. Mitchell had pretty good field position, but he gets a hand in there. He's playing the receiver, knows that Davis is looking back for the ball, and gets that hand in there and gets the flag. Bumps him.
Yeah, that bump, you could see it was a lot more pronounced from that high end zone look. That was a good look at it. You couldn't see that as much from the far side of the field.
53-yard penalty. And almost intercepted by Johnny Holland. Had it in his hands and couldn't hold on. Davis was the intended recipient.
Boy, great story, Johnny Holland being back out on the field here in the NFL. Here's a guy that had to have a serious back operation, had a cervical vertebra fusion, and yet back out on the fields of the National Football League. One of the most popular players on the Packers, a real fixture in Green Bay. And
remember this summer at Green Bay, they came in to play the Hall of Fame game, and there was a lot of questions as to whether or not he would even be able to come back and attempt to make this team.
On 2nd and 10, it's a little swing pass to Allen. There's a flag down. Back at the 39-yard line. Allen takes it to the 50. Holland stops him. Red Cashin will tell us about it.
There's Holland on cue, and you talk about Holland's accomplishments. He was our leading tackler a year ago, and here he is. What's he doing here so far in 1993?
Leading tackler once again.
Leading tackler. You're right. Yeah. Good for him.
Green Bay hurt at linebacker by the loss of Brian Noble also early on with a knee injury. He will not be back this year.
Penalty against Kansas City.
Personal foul, chop block. Number 61 on the offense. 15 yards, still second down.
The center, Tim Grunhard.
It's rather unusual.
If a player is engaged with one of your teammates, you cannot block him below the waist. There's a good look at the fact that Dave Zott, the left guard, was the man responsible for blocking, and Grunhard came in and hit him low below the waist.
2nd and 25. There's a screen. Marcus Allen gets some nice blocking initially and then is taken down by Reggie White up at the 40-yard line.
Johnny Holland got his nose right into that screen, and he went for a tremendous ride as both the screen men took out Johnny Holland. Set up rather well. Again, pressure by Reggie White. Fighting through Ricky Sigler. And White rebounding, getting back into the play. Big as he is unbelievably quick.
3rd down and 16 at the 40-yard line. Early 3rd quarter. 9-3 Green Bay.
Look out.
And nobody's there. The pattern was broken off by Freddie Jones. He was running an out at the 45-yard line, and Craig was throwing one to Columbia or environs.
We'll go over and talk that one over. Obviously on different pages.
You say Columbia, Al?
I said Columbia.
That's
local geography.
You know, you have your directions down right. You're exactly right. Columbia's east off that way.
Well, who's going to know?
Dan would know.
Yeah, I would know.
He'd be flying right over it.
I do know. It's that way. It's that way. Huh? That's how horrible a looking pass that was.
Right.
We're down to talking where Columbia, Missouri is.
Right. Barker's kick is a line drive. This is Brooks from the 22. And Brooks almost breaks it. There's a marker down to the 31-yard line. And he was tackled by Fred Jones. Red Cashin.
Well, if you're providing the coverage on Green Bay, Brooks is scary back there. He has the look and the technique that could pop one.
Anchor calls on Keo Coleman, linebacker for the Pack.
During the return, illegal block. Number 54 of the receivers, 10 yards, still 1st down.
It was way out in the open. The leading tackler right there. Take a look at that. That's a pretty good look at a shot in the back as he drops Keith Cash, draws the flag.
12:39 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Packers have the ball at the 18-yard line. They lead 9-3, 1st and 10 after the Kansas City punt. Thompson is the sole running back. Brett.
Well, if you can't score any points on offense,
Scored on defense. Brett Favre.
darn right.
Getting stripped once again tonight.
Guess who? Derek Thomas. We talked about that awesome
too, Dan.
We talked about that awesome upfield burst of his. This time he kept his footing and was able to round the corner and get back up and intentionally slap the ball away from Brett Favre.
Right into the arms of Saliamua.
Ooh, that's good stuff.
Showing the high school days as a running back. Long in the pass, he rumbles into the end zone.
Lowry to give them the lead, and that's the 3rd Green Bay turnover, and that was a disaster. Another look as we go to commercial as the Kansas City Chiefs on the game's first touchdown lead 10-9.
Derek, the magnificent, gets his ball club into the lead.
A very happy Dan Saliamua scoring his 2nd NFL touchdown. Brett Favre stripped of the ball. 3rd Green Bay turnover. 1st touchdown of the night. Derek Thomas created it. 12:29 to go in the 3rd. 10-9 as Lowry kicks off in the direction of Brooks and Wilson. Brooks at the goal line behind a wedge, and Brooks breaks one out past the 30, and he's up to the 40-yard line. So the crowd going wild. The crowd was going wild before the game because the national anthem and pregame entertainment provided by Billy Ray Cyrus, a former Flatwoods, Kentucky high school tight end.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
joining us in the booth tonight.
What a great football game. I knew before I came here this was going to be a great game. It's two great teams, and this one's coming down to the wire, guarantee it.
I was down before the game. I was watching you. I got out here early. You got here early. You were running all over that football field.
It was a dream come true to be here.
Green Bay at the 39-yard line. And Bennett is stopped for no gain.
Now, Billy Ray, I was talking to you down on the field before the game. You said you played some split end, some tight end. You're in a tight end. It's 4th and 1. They got to run the ball your direction. Reggie White right on the other side of you. How would you handle that?
Oh, well, say, can you?
Yeah.
Break right into the national anthem.
And he's not a fan.
No, I see. You know, shoot, I don't know. I guess I'd do it like everything else and just call the play and do the very best I could do. You know?
When you're down there for warm-ups, can you believe how big they are? Can you believe the size of the people who play this game?
Oh, I'm telling you, I was in the tunnel when some of the players came through the tunnel, and the thing was just shaking, man. It was great.
Now, you're shooting here for what, an ABC special sometime after the first of the year?
Yeah, so we're shooting our ABC special part of it here tonight, and you know, I got to pass the ball with Joe Montana, and to pass the ball with somebody that you know is going to be in the Hall of Fame one of these days. You know, it's just a dream come true being here today, really.
And I say we have a better than average chance of ending up on the cutting room floor.
I would think so. There's a delay for a moment because Neil Smith is being worked on the Kansas City defensive end, but and there he is as they attend to the Kansas City All-Pro.
Now, I wouldn't leave you guys in the floor for nothing, man. This is a dream come true for me to get to be up here in the booth with you guys.
Well,
you know, I've been a Monday Night Football fan for as long as I can remember Monday Night Football being on, and I look.
Wait a minute, you're starting to hurt me here a little bit.
You were in the crib
this high.
Right?
Yeah, well, I just love Monday Night Football. I really do. I look forward to you know, at football season, and I look forward to Monday coming around because Monday Night Football is just. It's a part of life, you know, especially back where I'm from, Eastern Kentucky. Monday Night Football is a happening thing.
And you're on the road, what, like 300 nights a year?
Well, I'd say this past year we was out at least 300 nights, at least.
Well, at least you got 300 different places that want you to be there.
Yes, sir. That's great. Amen.
Got a lot of fans.
2nd down and 10 for the Packers at the 39-yard line. We'll check on Smith and his condition in a moment. Far throws incomplete. Billy Ray, thank you. One of these teams tonight, of course, leaves with an achy, breaky heart. You know that.
Absolutely. Okay. So, thanks for having me, guys.
I wondered who would get to it.
Oh, of course.
Thanks for having me, guys. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Billy Ray Cyrus.
There's achy, breaky hearts, Al, but with these guys, it's mostly achy, breaky knees, shoulders, wrists, everything else.
Well, Smith has taken a moment out for a couple of plays anyway as he works it off. It is 3rd down and 10 for the Packers. They have it at the 39-yard line. 10-9, Kansas City, and Favre throws underneath, and a great defensive play made by Benny Thompson on Darrell Thompson.
What's that, the fire hydrant celebration? we see a never-ending quest to be unique in your celebration. Benny may have just entered new territory.
Well, that's an interesting way to describe it.
Now, Benny got this game started, opening kickoff with that great hit where he knocked the blocker into the Packer run.
Brian Wagner booms one. 50-yard punt, and Dale Carter escapes an initial tackle and runs it all the way back down to the 38-yard line. Take a look at that hydrant move again here, huh?
I don't know what's worse, him doing it or me talking about it.
Kansas City, Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, and Dan Dierdorf. Joe Montana up in the Kansas City coach's booth. Again, he does not figure to play against the Raiders in L.A. on Sunday. He hopes to be back the following week against Chicago with that sprained hamstring. Dave Craig at the helm tonight. Good play fake. Boy, he looked like Steve DeBerg on that one. And it's caught at the 47-yard line by J.J. Burden. Terrell Buckley makes the tackle. That's what DeBerg did here with so much success a few years back.
And what did they do differently than what we've seen earlier? They went downfield with the football after this great play fake. You're right, Al. It was a good look into Marcus Allen. The line gives him nice protection, and they went downfield.
Good drive by Burden on that. Two into the zone. He pulled up. They read it together, Craig and Burden. Big completion.
Too many, I think, of the Chiefs' passes have been breaks towards the sideline and really not paying enough attention to the middle of the field.
Craig looks the other way, and underneath he hits Jonathan Hayes. You know, we mentioned DeBerg. DeBerg is being talked about. He is available now because cut by Tampa Bay. There's some thought that Cleveland might pick him up. Cleveland's going to go with Kosar now cut with Todd Philcox as their quarterback. Brad Gable backing him up. Vinny Testaverde, according to, I talked to Art Modell tonight, he thinks that Vinny can be back in 5 to 6 weeks. So that's why they have not put Testaverde on injured reserve. Another guy they're looking at, another quarterback who might be headed for Cleveland perhaps, is Tom Tupa, the former Ohio State QB who was with Indianapolis earlier. Here's Allen on a spin move.
That's the oldest running back in the National Football League, putting a beautiful spin maneuver to get to the outside.
Well, there are always two sides to every tale, and I'm most anxious to hear Bill Belichick and Art Modell and the Cleveland people and their explanation of why they released Bernie Kosar this afternoon, because it is the biggest story to come down the pike in quite some time.
You know, no one really knows what goes on internally within a football team, and you're part of that team.
We don't know.
Offside, left side of the defense, 5 yards, still second
We
down.
don't know what was said. We don't know if there are irreconcilable differences between Kosar and Belichick. We're not privy to that yet. Eventually, you know, it'll come out.
Well, from our end, we will finish the story because I did talk to Art Modell before we went on the air tonight, the Browns owner. Modell said he had met with Belichick for 3 hours after the game last night and then met with the assistant coaches today, and it was unanimously determined that they wanted to go to a different type of situation where they could have a quarterback who could roll out and do the things that they felt Bernie Kosar could not do. As Kimball Landers takes the ball down to the 37-yard line.
Well, he certainly is not a rollout quarterback. I can tell you
no question
that.
about that. They also said that the Browns felt they saw Bernie as a declining performer, even though he's not 30 years old yet. He won't be 30 until the end of November. They want to go to the rollout play action type of situation. And I asked Art about the salary cap, and he said no, that was not a determining factor here. Clearly, with the salary cap coming in next year, everybody's salary is a factor to a degree, but he wanted to make it clear that that was not a situation where they said to themselves, hey, he's too expensive for us.
And they're on top of their division, too. I wouldn't think that would factor into it.
First down from the 36-yard line, and going deep. Willie Davis was there and couldn't hold on. Good coverage by Roland Mitchell.
Well, the only final thing I have to say on the subject is, if you're trying to win football games, if winning is the #1 priority, and I assume it is, and I'm sure it is with the Cleveland Browns, then if you've made the decision that Todd Philcox is more capable of winning games than Bernie Kosar, then we're talking about one of the great deterioration of talent in a short period of time, in a long, long time. And you see that low interception rate for Bernie Kosar, and that's held pretty steady over the years.
2nd and 10 at the 36. Kansas City up by a point. Midway through the third quarter, Marcus Allen was the intended receiver. And Bryce Pop throwing Craig to the ground, but there's no flag.
Yeah, the Browns aren't in the business of losing football games, so needless to say, they think they're doing the right thing if that's all they're saying.
One of the things they like to point out, or at least not necessarily like to point out, but point out in a factual sense, is they say that in Kosar's last 16 starts, the Browns are 5-11. And they point out one of those 5 was the game where Testaverde led him from behind against L.A. and 2 of the other wins were against Cincinnati. So you're right. There are 2 ways to look at this whole thing, and we're just in an equitable sense looking at what Cleveland is saying in regard to the Kosar situation. Willie Davis makes this catch, and they convert on 3rd down inside the 20-yard line.
Oh, and what a move Willie Davis put on Terrell Buckley, and helping him make that move was Dave Craig with a little pump fake. Willie Davis gave the look of taking it upfield, broke it out right into the flat, and Dave Craig, we've talked about it all night, from the pocket, he can deliver the football.
I think the Chiefs lulled the Packers to sleep with those 2 and 3 and 4 yard patterns, and now that they're going downfield are finding some receivers open. It's a smart play here by the Chiefs to stretch the field.
First down at the 17-yard line, and Marcus Allen is stopped in his tracks. Just as he crosses the line of scrimmage at the bottom of the pile.
Haven't seen Marcus.
Is Matt Brock.
Excuse me, Al. We haven't seen Marcus work out of the backfield. Something he does so well, and particularly when they get down inside the red zone. He is very adept at coming out of the backfield, working linebackers, and particularly when they haven't seen that much of him. And he has not been in many patterns tonight.
7:07 to go, third quarter, 10-9 Kansas City. Second and 9. Anders was the intended receiver, and George Kuntz forced a hasty throw by Craig. This Thursday, Matlock and missing persons are changing times for a special night. Andy Griffith starring as Matlock at 8 o'clock 7 Central. And then missing persons this Thursday night right here on ABC. Drive a little under 4 minutes. Kansas City leading by 1. Third down and 9 at the 17-yard line. Hurdle job, and it's a 1-yard net gain. Mike Pryor makes the tackle, and here comes Lowry now to attempt about a 34-yard field goal.
See if Lowry and Brian Barker have gotten a little closer together.
They needed
to talk it over for a long time.
They needed some long conversation on the sideline.
You were with us earlier.
Yeah.
Long delay on Nick Lowry's approach to the ball, and one that was blocked earlier by Green Bay.
And that's the second block of a Lowry kick this year, the other against the Raiders. 34-yard attempt, and this one is good. So he's made them from 23 and 34, and Kansas City takes a 4-point lead with 6:11 to go in the third. .11 to go in the third quarter. Kansas City on top 13-9 as Lowry sends a short kick in the direction of Marcus Wilson. From the 11-yard line, he is tripped up at the 31-yard line by Dale Carter. And a marker is down.
It's not easy to spot a marker with the Packers wearing yellow fans.
You're right.
It's a difficult task to begin with, made even tougher.
Offside. Number 80 of the kickers. That penalty is declined. First down.
Hey.
All right, Red. He's getting warmed up a little bit.
Kansas City has done very well with their reshuffled secondary tonight. We talked about it earlier with Bayless taking over a strong safety, and Kevin Ross for the first time going to free safety. Dale Carter a starter again at the right corner. Totally reshuffled back there, and they've done a good job with it.
Green Bay from the 31-yard line. Thompson picks up 4, runs right into Tracy Rogers, number 52. Packers, it's a tough part of the schedule here because they're in Kansas City, and it doesn't get any easier. Next Sunday they go to New Orleans. Shaken up is Dan Saliamua, who has scored the game's only touchdown. And then they go home and face Detroit. So Mike Holmgren looking at a tough trifecta. Holmgren, when you remember after the '89 season, 49ers win the Super Bowl, Holmgren could have been the coach of the New York Jets, could have been the coach of the Phoenix Cardinals. He had his choice and opted to stay in San Francisco. Got a great contract to remain with George Seifert as the offensive coordinator. And among other things, he felt his daughters were still in high school at that time, and he felt it was very important that they complete high school in the Bay Area. And he figured, he just took a chance that his time would come, and it did with Green Bay.
And as an assistant coach with the 49ers, he was making more than some head coaches in the NFL. So it's not that it was a terrible financial decision to stay with the 49ers. And let's face it, he knew that he was also going to be the offensive coordinator of one of the great offensive machines in the history of the National Football League, and there's no way that his stock could have possibly dropped by remaining.
Well, you think about that job as Sally Amua comes off. Holmgren turned down a couple of coaching jobs, and then Mike Shanahan could have been the head coach of the Denver Broncos. He was their #1 pick, and he chose to remain in San Francisco.
And I think it's interesting that you get Mike Holmgren, who's in had been a part of one of the real glamour franchises in sport. The San Francisco 49ers, living in California, that type of, and to go to Green Bay, I think it shows some real vision on his part that a good job can be anywhere. And the chance to coach one of the most storied franchises in the history of the league, too much to pass up.
2nd and 6. Pass is incomplete as Sally Amua came out. Jackie Harris, the intended receiver. Tim Newton is in there replacing Sally Amua, who now comes back in.
I think a lot of the credit for Holmgren growing there goes to Ron Wolf, the new general manager, and he sat down with Mike Holmgren, told him what they were going to do. He would be in charge of the football, that side of the program, and Wolf, of course, with a background with the Los Angeles Raiders, well respected, and I think he just plain sold him on the job. And total commitment, a recommitment to building the Packers back into a power.
3rd and 6, and here come the Chiefs, and Favre is able to get it away, and that's Sterling Sharp, and he takes Carter for a ride all the way to the 41. A flag is down, however, at the 29-yard line.
I believe it's coming back.
And thus far tonight, Kansas City has held Sterling Sharp to not much of a offensive production.
Speaking of being held, that's what happened to one of the on-rushing linemen or linebackers on that blitz.
Sharp at 50 receptions coming into tonight.
There's 3 tonight for 37 yards.
Holding number 73 on the offense. 10 yards, still 3rd down.
And that puts him back into the lead of the National Football League, doesn't it?
Yeah, Tootie Robbins really turning in a good year for the Packers. Falls victim to a big inside move here by Thomas. See Thomas lined up way outside. Robbins commits too far to the outside. Derrick jumps way inside of him, and Robbins has no choice but to hook him.
Earlier we saw that move by Derrick Thomas to the outside where he almost got to Favre. He made it look like that again and then broke to the inside.
He lines up so far outside of you that it makes you want to turn your body, and that's what Tootie did there and paid for it.
3rd and 16, deep drop. Secondary does its job, and Favre can only get back up to the 26-yard line. And there's a marker down all the way up at the 43 in the secondary. And obviously it's against Kansas City here through that reaction. Ooh, and on 3rd and 16,
wow.
A first down off a holding call.
Ooh, and that's way downfield.
Holding number 46 on the defense. 5 yards, first down.
That's Benny Thompson, who's been around the ball and been a part of the festivities here this evening. I think he's locked up with Jackie Harris, number 80, the tight end. Oh, and there he is right at the line of scrimmage.
He almost tore his jersey off.
And yes, I would call that holding. And more importantly, that's what the guy in the striped shirt called it. Costly penalty.
1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. 4:44 to go, 3rd quarter. 13-9, Kansas City. Favre buys time, good fake throws up to the 45-yard line, and the catch is made by Mark Clayton.
Ooh, strong arm by Favre. Yeah. Good drive by Clayton against Dale Carter, who bought the fly all the way. Clayton broke it off and broke back to the ball, and Favre was right there.
I think that pass,
strong arm.
I think that pass in the first quarter of play would have one-hopped going downfield. To me, Brett Favre has begun to loosen up, and you're right, this is a strong throw downfield to Clayton. But right now, Brett Favre is giving the impression of a guy who's finally relaxing and getting into the rhythm of this football game. First Monday night appearance, he's just a baby, and he's got a lot of growing to do, but it's starting right now, I think.
There's a little screen. He lost it to Thompson, and he gets by Derrick Thomas and turns it into a big gainer before he is taken down. Kevin Ross with a tackle, but there are 2 flags back up at the line of scrimmage.
Well, the first thing you think about in a screen like that is, did you have a lineman downfield?
Play will come back. Initial call against the Packers for holding. Might be Harry Galbraith.
He was one of the screen men out into the flat.
Holding during the run, number 76 of the offense. 10 yards, still first down.
Harry Galbraith breaking into the screen. A well set up screen. You'll see it. There's 76 right at the line of scrimmage. It looked like a good block when we saw it. As you can see, it was a better tackle than it was a block.
Get along, little doggy.
Old bulldog.
First and 20 at the 35-yard line for the Packers. And again, that wraparound draw to Thompson up to the 41-yard line. He gets 6. It'll be 2nd and 14 as Ross makes the tackle.
Thompson only goes about 215, 216, but he gives the appearance of a 230-pound back. He seems to just look for people to run into.
He hits big, doesn't he?
He looks for someone to hit.
Like every time he makes contact with somebody out here in a red jersey, the red jersey's hopping back a yard or two.
And slow to get up.
2nd and 14.
He's a vanderizing.
And a little pass out into the flat to Ed West, who is their number 2 tight end. He gets it to the 46-yard line. And so the Packers will be faced with a 3rd down and 9 with 2:45 to go in the 3rd quarter. And Kansas City up 13-9.
And as far as we mentioned earlier, Kansas City putting the brakes on Sterling Sharp pretty much tonight. They've done a good job against Sharp, and he is, of course, it's no secret, their go-to guy.
Crowd rising, imploring the defense to stop him on 3rd and 9. And Smith and Thomas put the pressure on him. It's intercepted by Charles Mincy. And Mincy, who had lost his starting job and is playing only in the nickel and dime defense, picks it off, and there's a marker down up at the 40-yard line.
Ooh, Benny Thompson put a shot on Robert Brooks, number 87, and I am shocked that Brooks got back up.
Well, he lost in all of that again.
Unnecessary roughness. Number 92 of the receivers. It'll be 15 yards, first down at 10.
Look at number 87 on the left-hand side of your screen. Watch the shot. He never sees that coming. Benny Thompson just jackhammers Brooks, and Brooks is a fortunate young man that he got up and made it over to the Packers sideline.
You know, he lost in all of that. That was another ball that should not have been thrown by Brett Favre. He should have eaten the ball, taken the sack, threw it into a crowd, and again, little or no question that there was a good possibility that was going to be picked off.
Well, Benny Thompson brought an extra chin strap with him here tonight. He's hitting everything in a white jersey and yellow pants.
Penalty coming on the run back, so the interception, the 2nd of the night against Favre, plus 2 fumbles. And Craig DeMarcus Allen, big hole up to the 30-yard line before he's bounced down. Gain of 7, flag down. Leroy Butler makes the hit. Green Bay has given the ball away 4 times tonight, 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles by Favre. This one comes back against Kansas City. Here's the pick again by Mincy, who lost his starting job.
Brett Favre was trying to go to Jackie Harris, and he's in a crowd. He's being hassled and harassed, and Harris was covered, but
first down.
Pickoff came from the free man.
And again, look at this regular speed. That's just a brutal shot by Benny Thompson. Favre had Derek Thomas, of course, of all people. What a surprise, hanging on his leg when he threw that ball. It's all a learning process for Brett Favre. Some of it good, some of it bad. And Al, I think you said it best in your open when, again, I'm going to drag out that term, they play young. That's a good way to describe this Packer offense.
After the call, it is 1st and 17, and underneath Kimball Anders. And Anders able to escape. Very close to a first down. 17-yard gain, stopped by Teague. Anders, good receiver. He played in the run and shoot when he went to school at Houston.
Played with Andrew Ware. He was actually a roommate of Andrew Ware's. And had some 60 receptions when he was a sophomore. Not only is he a good receiver, when he catches the football, he knows what to do with it. That time he broke right out of a crowd and got up close to a first down.
Timeout for a measurement. They bring the sticks in. A minute 24 left in the third. KC up by 4.
From a football player's perspective, it could not be any nicer than it is right now here at Arrowhead Stadium. There is no wind. The temperature, I would assume right now, is somewhere in the upper 40s, maybe 50 degrees.
Yep.
It is just a perfect night for football.
The barbecue smoke is out of here.
Yeah, it's
somewhat dissipated.
We've got everything but a possum hunting moon tonight.
Ooh, Nelly. To be trailing by only 4 points, 1 per turnover, is pretty remarkable for the Packers at this point in the ballgame.
First and 10 at the 34-yard line for the Chiefs. A fake to Allen, and Craig throws, and it's the open man at the 48-yard line, and out of bounds at that spot after making the catch is Willie Davis.
Davis again with that deep out move against Buckley. Davis makes it look like the fly pattern, and Buckley has been beaten about 3 times on it tonight. Bottom of your screen. Gives it a fly move. Stretches Buckley out where he has to play the deep move. And with a good break to the outside, and Dave Craig, with great timing, delivers the ball right on target. It's a tough pass to throw, that deep out of about 15 or 17 yards.
And when it's thrown properly, virtually impossible to defense.
Throw it right on the break. How many times do we watch him connect up with that pass? And Steve Largent over the years up at Seattle, where he played for 12 years.
Craig on the night, averaging about 5.5 yards per attempt. Rule of thumb there, 7's about average, 8 is very good, 9 is terrific.
Oh, contact. That'll be offsides on the Packers. Looked like Jurkovic came across the line and bumped center Grunhard.
How were they drawn off?
Before the ball was snapped, encroachment, number 64 on the defense, 5 yards, still first down.
It was center Grunhard, wasn't it?
It was.
He got bumped before the snap of the ball. Good job by Craig of getting Jurkovic across the line of scrimmage. And easy yards, the best kind. You don't even have to work for it. All you got to do is make some noise.
First and 5 for the Chiefs at the Packer 43-yard line. And Todd McNair. That's the first down. He gets the ball to the 37-yard line. And that will be the final play of the third quarter.
Rare rushing attempt for McNair, usually in the backfield as a receiver. Big hole over the left side.
And that's the way the quarter ends. It is 13-9 Kansas City after 3. And back we come with the fourth quarter of Monday Night Football after this from our ABC stations. Fourth quarter, Kansas City. Al Michaels, Frank Gifford, Dan Deerdorf. KC has the ball first and 10 at the Green Bay 37. Chiefs leading by 4, looking for more, and a reaching catch by J.J. Burden.
Gorgeous.
First and goal at the 4.
That's what makes people sit down in front of their television sets and come to the stadium.
And an injured Chief back at the 40-yard line.
What a catch by J.J. Bird.
And what a move he put on Terrell Buckley. Watch this move. Now, Buckley has been beat on the out 2 or 3 times. This time it was Burden driving to the inside, taking it to the outside. Buckley got totally lost in this, and a beautifully thrown ball.
We're trying to ID the chief player that's hurt up at the 40-yard line.
Believe it's Kimball Anders.
I think you're right, Al.
Dave Craig gets a pretty good shot there, too.
There's Anders down on the ground, and you see him put his right hand on his right leg.
Craig took that hit from Tony Bennett, and it's a funny thing. You cover a lot of things during the course of the game. We haven't had a chance to detail Tony Bennett at all, but he had that long holdout, good linebacker, wound up signing a contract for the rest of the year, but he's not a real happy guy in terms of his deal, and he's going to be a free agent at the end of the year.
By and large, we haven't had a whole lot of calls for Reggie White either. You think about it, Kansas City has done a real fine job against the tough defensive front seven for the Green Bay Packers.
There's Kimball Anders right there. Let's see if we can see what happens. Oh, his teammate's going to fall on his right ankle.
You don't want to see. Oof.
Well, he at least did not have a player holding him up on the other side, and was able to get out from underneath it somewhat. John Alt is tackled to that side. And this is Kimball Anders is up and walking off. You could see where he was. That's the kind of an injury situation where if you have somebody on your other side that prohibits you from getting away, being able to what we call bail out, in other words, roll away from it and relieve that pressure on an ankle or a knee, that's when you get to serious injuries. But Anders that time was able to, fortunately for him, get out away from it and looks like escape a serious injury.
First and goal inside the 4. First minute of the fourth quarter. KC up by 4. Ernie Thompson and Marcus Allen in the backfield. And they give it to the up back, Thompson. That's his first carry of the game. Second year back out of Indiana. Takes it down to the 1-yard line.
It's only his third carry of the year. He had 2 carries for a whopping 2 yards. We'll have a test later in the game. You can figure out his per carry average. One more carry like that, though, and Ernie Thompson will have a touchdown.
Ball at the 1. Second and goal. Marcus Allen, he knows how to find the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City.
Good drive by the Chiefs.
Good blocking on that left side. He got a good lead block from Thompson, who threw his 257 pounds in there.
Hey, this is a good drive for Dave Craig. Couple of key plays he made, couple of deep passes he was able to complete, and then Marcus Allen caps it off from the 2-yard line. This drive starting back at the 23-yard line, but 2 key passes by Dave Craig.
Lowry for the point after. And for Marcus Allen, his 6th touchdown of the season and the 104th of his spectacular career. Chiefs on top 20-9. Kimball Anders, the report on him, an ankle sprain, right ankle, and his return is questionable. Line drive kick. It's fielded up at the 7-yard line by Marcus Wilson. And a nice run back all the way out to the 44-yard line.
Packers needed that. They've got to do something offensively to try to counter Kansas City's latest score, taking an 11-point lead, 20-9. And Brett Favre and his offense right now, they've got to make something happen. And nothing affords you the opportunity to make something happen more than a good kickoff return.
Again, what a job Dave Adolph, the defensive coordinator for Kansas City, has done with this defensive unit. Totally reshuffled in the secondary, and they have totally befuddled the Green Bay Packers tonight, and particularly their quarterback, Brett Favre.
First and 10 at the 44. Sterling Sharp has been pretty much held in check tonight. In motion. Favre finds Sharp. He takes it at the Kansas City 42 and gets to the 34-yard line. Does the NFL's leading receiver. That's 54 catches this season. 22-yard gain. So 54, here they are in, well, the game that reaches the halfway mark for them. He's on a pace to exceed at the moment what he did last year.
Typical Sterling Sharp pattern, just finding the open gap, Favre finding him, getting the completion and attacking on the yards with the run.
I say exceed because I'm taking into account the remainder of this game. First down as Favre throws, and it's Jackie Harris who gets wide open for a touchdown. And just like that, the Packers get right back into it. Well, 35 yards.
That was the concern the Kansas City Chiefs had tonight when they changed their two safety positions. They moved Bayless over to the strong safety. They brought in Kevin Ross, a free safety. The tight end, Jackie Harris of the Green Bay Packers, is a fine receiver. And he was going to be working on one or the other. This time they were trying to cover him with Tracy Rogers, the linebacker. There's Lonnie March, number 51, just covering for Rogers. But Jackie Harris wide open.
And a perfect throw by Brett Favre.
Well, this one's just warming up now.
Yeah, you got that right.
12:59 left in regulation. It is 20-16. Kansas City.
Started with that good kickoff return. They took advantage of the field position.
Well, the Kansas City secondary, Ross, Lewis, and the gang discussing what happened on the Jackie Harris play. Brett Favre linking with Harris for a 35-yard touchdown, and Fred Jones now drops back to accept the kickoff. Ron Dickerson had been running the back. And Jackie's kick is a spinner, and a good move by Jones as long as he didn't touch it. He tried to get out of the way. Did he touch the ball? If he touched it,
he did touch it.
If it even grazed him, it is at the 1-yard line. He tried to get out of the way, which would have made it an out-of-bounds kick, and they would have had it at the 35.
He was right in front of the official. He tried to buy it from the official, and the official would have none of that.
Really, what you thought you saw, you really didn't see.
Look at this. This is a great shot.
Oh, yeah.
No, I didn't do it.
Yeah, right, and right in front of the man, too. Boy, that's a costly error. About an 18.5-yard error. That's why that ball is, well, actually, yeah, because it goes all the way up to the 35-yard line. I'm back in the old days at the 20. How about a 33.5-yard error? Of course, that's why that ball's got pointy ends and bounces kind of funny.
From the 1-yard line, they had to attempt to buy some space and do as Andrews makes the catch. His return was questionable, but there he is. Funny thing, Kansas City has revamped two things, the secondary, and they got killed on the pass to Harris, and then they took Dickerson out and put Jones back there to run the kickoff back, and that turns out to burn them on back-to-back plays. At the 4-yard line, gain of 7. It is second down, and let's call it 8 up at the 4. 12:15 to go in regulation. 20-16 Chiefs. And a one-step drop and a catch made by Burden. He gets it to the 10-yard line. Third and a deuce coming up. Buckley makes the tackle.
Could be a big drive for quarterback Dave Craig if they could get themselves out of deep in their own territory following that 76-yard drive for a touchdown that he engineered. It's tough being Dave Craig around here. The Montana mania that has swept this city.
See, there are 5 completions in the first half for 35 yards. Double that number, but you see the completion yardage is all the way up to 123 yards here in the second half. Reflective of the Chiefs going downfield with more regularity than they did in half number 1, and either the wrong personnel, the wrong formation, or a combination of both forces Dave Craig to take a timeout.
And the play clock going down to 1. Our position at Arrowhead Stadium.
Does that face in the background look familiar there?
It's a big 76. Rosie
right
Greer
back here,
dropped by to say hello.
Rosie Greer dropping by.
The Reverend. Great man.
Great defensive.
Does a lot of people for a lot of things for a lot of people.
Did a lot of things to a lot of quarterbacks, and none of them liked it.
This is a 3rd and 2 now, and Marcus Allen Now to the 13, and that should be enough for a first down, and is. They'll move the sticks.
Up to this point in time, that's their biggest first down of the game. Protecting a 20-16 lead.
Matt Brock is the injured Packer.
That's Bryce Pop, who's down on one knee, but he's not the injured player. Brock is on the far side of it.
How about in the history of Monday Night Football, most touchdowns? Jerry Rice and Marcus Allen have combined for 16 of them. Mark Clayton has scored all of his as a Dolphin. He's in the game tonight with the Packers. Dickerson and
Dickerson's
Riggins
in the game.
14. Yeah,
Dickerson's in the game.
The other Dickerson, right?
Just Ron Dickerson.
John Riggins. I don't recall all of those.
I'll guarantee he doesn't.
Been there for all of those.
I'll guarantee he doesn't either. Riggo, one of the truly unique people I've known in my life.
Not good. They're looking at Matt Brock's left knee, and he is obviously in considerable discomfort.
So they work on Brock, and we move to Three Rivers Stadium next week, and that's a real good matchup. Bills are 7-1. Yesterday, you know, one of those games where they were coming off the Monday night win against Washington, and it took them a while to get going, and they needed some breaks, but they pulled it out against New England in OT. Against the Steelers, who are involved in a very tough battle now in the AFC Central with Cleveland. Houston has gotten back into the hunt because of their soft schedule, and that's our attraction next Monday night. Bills, Steelers. And then 2 weeks from tonight, we got a beauty. New Orleans and San Francisco. It's the Saints and the 49ers in 2 weeks from Candlestick Park. We'll get a report on Brock. 1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. And under pressure, the ball is loose. And Craig is able to recover his own fumble.
Oh, and Dan, you touched on it early in the game. Craig has one major drawback, and that is he tends to lose the football when he scrambles around. He does not like to throw the interception. And he holds that ball a little loose. They see him hold it in one hand, moving around, and he gets stripped from it. It's happened over and over in his career. 123, I think, fumbles he's had.
You don't even get the impression that Bryce Pop is actually even trying to slap it out of there. He's just going for the sack, and as a result of that, the ball comes loose. Bryce Pop with his 2nd sack of the game tonight. He's turning in a strong game.
2nd and 16.
Oh, no.
Oh, another timeout.
Ooh, that
Play clock again.
Yeah.
They were slow in getting to the line. They've already burned 2 timeouts. 10:09 left in the 4th.
Boy, that was real special. That was
another marketing entity for us.
Yeah, really.
2nd and 16. And at the 9-yard line, that's incomplete, intended for Jonathan Hayes. It'll be 3rd down and 16.
Let me see. They dropped the glue on Craig, and then they dumped the footballs on top of Craig, and the footballs stuck to him.
Oh, with that
was that it? Was that the
might have something to do with the glue factory, maybe?
The gist of that thing?
Glue, I don't know. That's where they send horses to glue factories?
Don't they?
Don't they?
Here we go.
Not our Congo. He didn't go there. At 133-1, the Breeders' Cup winner. Whew.
What a pearl he was.
Yes, he certainly was. 3rd and 16. Craig gets sacked and avoids the safety as he comes out to the 3-yard line. After he was back in the end zone, it's Bryce Pop, and Green Bay is going to get the football at about midfield.
You know, 2 consecutive plays now. Great coverage by the Green Bay Packers secondary. Plenty of time for Craig on both plays to deliver the ball. He had plenty of time to throw the ball, and yet there was good coverage downfield, and he could do nothing here but step up and avoid the 2 points. See Burton jumping up and down. He thought he was open, but they needed 13 yards, not the 5 where he set up.
Things are getting a bit more tense here at Arrowhead Stadium.
Brian Barker kicking out of the end zone.
Oh, what a beauty.
Oh, what a great
tremendous kick. Brooks fields it at his own 41-yard line. And Thompson makes the tackle up at the 44-yard line. 56-yard boot, 4-yard run back.
And good to see Robert Brooks back in the game, huh? He's the kid that took that huge shot from Benny Thompson
what a great
earlier
punt.
in the second half.
When you punt the ball that far, you usually do not get that kind of coverage. Real tribute to the Kansas City special teams and their punt coverage.
Well, the last time the Packers had this type of field position was the last time they had the ball, and they scored a touchdown
very quickly.
9:20 to play in the fourth. 20-16 Chiefs. From the 44, Thompson gains 5 out to the 49-yard line. Stopped by Sally Amua. 2nd and 5.
Come to that part of the game, obviously, when the script has been used up, and usually is the part of the Packers game thus far this season where they have been unable to move the football all that well.
Certainly have not scored the points the way they do early.
Ball at midfield. 2nd and 5. Far too high. Intended for Ed West. Tracy Simeon with the coverage. 3rd down. Let's call it 3rd and 4. They'll spot the ball just about at the 50-yard line, and a very key play coming up here.
I would assume that this crowd here is going to do everything it can do to make it hard on Favre and the Packer offense, who really have done a good job tonight not being affected by the noise. We haven't seen the false starts. We haven't seen the confusion that we've seen other teams demonstrate when they come here to Arrowhead.
Favre, and Sharp makes the catch, gets a 1st down, picks up 6 to the 44-yard line. Dale Carter with the coverage.
Asked Sterling Sharp last night, would you like to duplicate that 108 that you had last year? And the purpose of my question was there are some receivers in this league that don't want to handle the ball over 100 times a year because of this, because of the abuse and the punishment you take after that many receptions. And he said, absolutely. He said, I don't think anybody wants to tackle me that many times. He's an offensive-minded runner who thinks he's the one delivering punishment to would-be tacklers. It's a unique look.
Favre going deep. There's all kinds of contact, and there's a flag down as Clayton was wrapped up. Kevin Ross.
Yeah, but I think they had Dale Carter.
What are they going to call here?
They might have Dale Carter. And once again, I think Carter's going to get the flag.
And Ross is hurt.
And Favre is lucky.
Real lucky. The 3rd time he's just thrown that ball up for grabs.
That ball looked like it was going into a 40-mile-an-hour wind. And there's no wind here at all.
Interference against Kansas City. Injured player is Kevin Ross.
Pass interference. Number 34 on the defense. 1st down.
Dale Carter.
That ball was underthrown, and Carter on the coverage, he just ran in to the intended receiver, Mark Clayton. The ball being underthrown, Clayton's working his way back to the ball and collides with Carter, and
it's the
gets
same
the
old
flag.
It's the same old story. Dale Carter is playing Clayton, not the ball. He's never turned and looked back towards the football. That is just one of the things that the officials zero in on. Are you playing the man or are you playing the ball? And without some attempt to look back at the ball, you are putting yourself at risk.
25-yard penalty. Ross is okay as he comes off. He was hit by Jackie Harris, who had made the tackle.
He has to come out for one play because there was an injury timeout on the field. And if the Chiefs are fortunate, Kevin Ross hopefully can get right back in there.
Charles Mincy comes in to replace him for the moment. 1st and 10 at the 14. 8:12 left. 4th quarter. 20-16. Chiefs. Clayton left and Sharp right. Thompson and Bennett the running backs. Thompson. A 3-yard gain. Sally makes the tackle at the 11-yard line. 2nd and 7.
What a reprieve for Favre. Of course, you see that a lot on an underthrown pass where the advantage really falls to the receiver when that ball's underthrown, Frank. He's the one who's looking at it. He's the one usually able to react quicker than the defensive man.
Well, then Clayton's been around a few years himself. He'll make it look a lot worse than it is, which he did.
Thompson in motion on 2nd and 7, and here comes Derek Thomas.
Offsides. Encroachment, number 58 on the defense.
Well, that's going to take the ball down to the 6-yard line.
Derek Thomas is the first guy down here to the near side. And he was the first guy across. They've got to stop it just because of that. But some of the defensive guys came across as well.
Further conference ensues. Big Red, what's happening?
Encroachment. Unabated to the quarterback, number 58, 5 yards, still 2nd down.
That's where if he has that clear shot, they stop play because we can't just allow the man to go ahead and level the quarterback once he's already passed the blockers. And slowly but surely, the Packers are creeping towards the Chief goal line.
And they better get a blanket over number 84, Sterling Sharp. Already has 7 touchdowns on the year. They love to go to him down here.
2nd and 1. Bennett. He gets a first down. Takes it to the 3. It's going to be 1st and goal. Simeon makes the tackle. One thing tonight, the Packers have not really been fazed by the crowd as the Broncos were the last time we were in here. In fact, in terms of penalties tonight, Kansas City is the team that's been penalized 10 times for 111 yards.
You guys tell me what you think, but from here, and there are the penalties, I don't think the crowd's as loud as they were when we were here for Denver.
Seem that way.
And I wonder how much of it is because Joe Montana didn't play. Obviously, the Broncos, one of the big rivals of the Chiefs, but they're not as loud as they were here 3 weeks ago.
Here's Bennett, and he gets about a half a yard. It's going to be 2nd and goal. The tackle is made by Albert Lewis.
The other thing, I think Green Bay is using more of a rhythmic count. I think that could be what has drawn Derek Thomas off the ball. He is beginning to anticipate that same count that they use in rhythm. That could be why he's been caught a couple of times tonight. They change it up every now and then, but mostly they'll go with the same count.
2nd and goal, 6:05 to go. Kansas City leading by 4. Thompson.
Ooh, good hit by
and the ball is loose in the end zone. Kansas City has it.
Big Dan Saliamua made it happen.
He usually recovers it. This time he caused it.
And Tracy Rogers comes up with a football. So the 2nd giant play of the night by Dan Saliamua.
Big man makes a big play.
Take a look at it. Thompson's going to break back towards the left, and that is how you put your hat on the ball and the ball carrier at the same time.
That was an explosive tackle by Saliamua.
6 feet tall, 300 pounds, and that's how you make an impact on that collision. That is the way to go, Dan Saliamua. That's how a defensive lineman hits a ball carrier.
At the 20-yard line, it is 1st and 10. KC, there's a fake to Anders. And Craig throws, and the catch is made. It's a 6-yard gain, Freddie Jones. Another look at Saliamua, who creates the 5th Green Bay turnover of the night.
Let's take a look at this. He breaks the block of Moran, and just, that is a crushing blow.
Whether he hit the ball with his arm, just drilled Thompson. No.
You're not talking about a guy on a kickoff who had a 30 or 40-yard run at somebody. He generated that kind of force and explosiveness in the space of about 2 yards.
Second and 4, a little swing to Marcus Allen. He's got the first down up to the 33-yard line. And the clock keeps on moving down to the 5-minute mark. You know, coming into the game tonight, in their first 7 games of the year, the Packers had lost a total of 1 fumble. They've lost 3 tonight to go with the 2 interceptions.
Oddly enough, at 12 fumbles for Kansas City, 9 by running backs.
Al, you say it, and it appears. You are really wired into this thing, aren't you?
Well, after you pick 133 to 1 shot on Saturday, you can do anything, right? At the 32-yard line. On first down, this is Todd McNair. And McNair breaks all the way down to the Packer 23-yard line.
I think that might have been about his 8th or 9th rushing attempt all season. You saw one earlier. Ordinarily, he works out of the backfield as a receiver. And Green Bay with a good line of McNair just almost ignoring him.
That's the longest run of his career.
Well, how's that for blocking on the left side of the line? Zott, Alt, Jonathan Hayes was over there with a key block. And Todd McNair just cruised downfield. Good work by the Chiefs offensive line.
Chiefs' longest rush of the season. Allen now goes nowhere, 2nd and 10. Clock ticking down to 4:15 left in the 4th.
Kenny Wolf, our producer, Craig Janoff, our director, the dynamic duo down there in the truck, giving us a great look tonight. And Mike Holmgren wishes the look was a little better. He saw a wasted opportunity with his club deep in Kansas City territory, getting ready to score a touchdown and a costly turnover.
2nd down and 10 at the 22-yard line. Craig throws it away as he was under pressure, and the pressure was provided by one Reggie White,
who kind of took it easy on Dave afterwards. He seemed to have gone to lengths to not land on top of Craig. Watch Reggie White, 2nd guy in, working on the inside. He's going to come around the corner. Now he's after Dave Craig, but watch this. Reggie goes out of his way, I think, to kind of just shove Craig out from under him. He maybe could have driven him into the ground and landed on top of him. That's not the way this guy plays the game. He'll get his shots, but he wants them to be good ones, clean ones. But boy, they'll be tough ones.
Well, here's another
That's their last one, isn't it?
That's it.
Again, that's the 3rd time that play clock's gone down. Kansas City is out of timeouts. It'll be 3rd down and 10. She's up a little late.
They come in all shapes and sizes. Notice no absence of red and yellow Chiefs colors here, though.
You talk about the stadium being sold out last summer out. It's a great football town. They're into this. I talked about the Montana mania that we've been undergoing here ever since we've been coming to Kansas City. What's this, our 3rd game this season? But this city is really upside down over the Chiefs.
It's a funny thing about them selling out the entire season before the year, because we had talked earlier this year with Carl Peterson, the president of the team, and he had said, you know, we'll never really know the effect of signing Montana because we were sold out before we signed Joe Montana. And there he is.
Well, they just got a lot more excited. Been tough on number 17, Dave Craig, though, up until tonight.
Yeah, this will help a lot, won't it?
It will help him a great deal.
3rd down.
And it's far from over.
3rd and 10 at the 22-yard line. 3:36 remaining. Chiefs 20, Packers 16. Craig throwing, and no! Hassan Jones, it would have been his first catch of the night, couldn't stay in the end zone. He had gotten behind Roland Mitchell, but he was out of bounds.
Well, it's the right read by everybody involved. The Packers came with a blitz. Craig knows he's got single coverage on the outside. He gets the ball to Jones. Jones is open, but the right is in, the left is out. No question.
He had Roland Mitchell beaten.
Yeah. The left comes well out of bounds.
40-yard attempt, Nick Lowry. Barker holds. Right down I-70.
Well, that's just a 7-point lead. 3 minutes, 26 seconds. So go ahead and celebrate that field goal, but I wouldn't head for the parking lot yet here at Arrowhead.
A little whiff of OT.
Yeah. I would not head for the parking lot yet.
Nick Lowry owns the highest career field goal percentage of all time, and that's kind of a movable figure or a movable leaderboard on that, because there are a lot of guys like Stoyanovich and Gary Anderson and Morton Anderson, and they're all kind of playing give and take with that all-time leader category.
Well, Lowry and Stoyanovich could have traded places tonight. Lowry came in the leader, but if he missed his first one and a blocked field goal goes down as a miss, so Stoyanovich went back into the lead.
Right.
But since then, Lowry has made 2, so he's regained the lead.
How'd you know that?
We better write this down. He has one distinction. I don't think any other kicker of his caliber has been cut by 8 different teams, a total of 11 times.
I read my notes before the game.
Steve Hurt went right to the UNIVAC.
Crank it out.
We'll crank out those figures for you. And there it is. Number 1, 80%. Right on the, look at that, 320 out of 400. Nice round numbers.
And that is through the one that just happened.
And now Lowry kicks off. Kansas City up by 7. Some confusion as to who's going to take it. Brooks winds up with it. Brings it back out to the 21-yard line with 3:16 remaining in regulation.
You know, you would have thought one of those 8 teams would have figured out that Nick Lowry was going to turn into a good kicker.
It happens so often. I mean, you see that with so many kickers.
Oh, sure.
Early on.
Hey, I was with the Cardinals when we cut Pat Leahy. You saw that he had talent, but Jim Bakken was entrenched at the time, and what are you going to do? And I think that happens with, you see some of these guys that had a lot of former teams. They were with teams that had established kickers. Just weren't good enough to unseat a veteran.
Green Bay starts from the 21-yard line. They're down by 7. A little dump underneath. That's Sharp making the catch. Tackled at the 24-yard line. March makes the hit. And the Kansas City secondary will give them all the 3-yard gains they want right now with 3 minutes to go.
What you really have to be concerned about now with the Green Bay offense is the running capabilities of Sterling Sharp. They'll get him that 3- and 4-yard shot. He'll try and break a tackle.
Awful close with the exception of the interception.
2nd and 7, and Favre, everybody's covered, and then he is covered. And he is covered by Doug Terry.
But better than tossing up a softball. Much better than throwing a floater out there to somebody in a red shirt.
3 times tonight we've seen him do that. That time he took the sack and will stay to fight again.
That last play in and of itself is not going to kill you. Not the way an interception would.
That is a timeout, Green Bay.
Oh, and he wanted to let it go.
Ooh, right here he wanted it.
No, I think I'll do it right here. No, I better not.
Yeah. Smart play, Brett. Smart play. You can't win it all by yourself. Not in this league.
That really is what it's all about, too. I mean, a young football player like Brett Favre, who loves to compete, knows he has talent, knows he has skill. I mean, he'll try to do everything to win a football game. Sometimes the toughest thing to learn is when to pull back, when to take the sack, when to throw it away. And it's a learning process that the youngster that's only 24 years old still has a lot to absorb.
Green Bay with 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning, so in effect 3 with 2:36, but this is a very big play. 3rd and 10 at the 21-yard line, and Lowry asking the crowd to make it as tough as they can for the Green Bay Packers. Good protection. And then the pass. It's caught by Sharp, but he's 2 yards short of the first down. They push him back from the 30-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and 1. Bayless with the tackle.
No question what Green Bay is going to do.
Well, they're going to let the clock continue to roll here. 2:10 and going down. They've got 2 timeouts, and they're going to let it go to the 2-minute warning. So that'll stop the clock. And it will be 4th and 1 for Green Bay. Down by 7 when we come back. Well, it comes down to this. It's 4th and 1 for Green Bay at the 30-yard line. 2 minutes to play. They're down by 7. And after the 2-minute warning, here they go on 4th down conversions this season, 5 of 6. Bennett the fullback. Thompson was the tailback. Now he's split to the right. They send Sharp in motion. And Favre's going to throw if he can. And he runs and gets the first down. Brett Favre run out of bounds by Thomas, but he's able to convert, pick up the first down. And that play took 9 seconds with 1:51 to play.
Well, he was in trouble about 3 different times and still had enough composure, enough athleticism to get the first down. Nothing doing there. Breaks it out, wants to look over the field again, and now spots the sticks, puts the head down, and gets the first down.
So they still have to go 66 yards. A field goal does them no good here. In 1:51 with 2 timeouts. They dump it to Bennett. He takes it to the 40. That's a gain of 6. 2nd and 4. If they don't win this game tonight, Green Bay can look at twice getting to the 2 and losing 2 fumbles, and then getting to the 5 and the 1 and settling for field goals. And that is intercepted at the 45 by Martin Bayless.
Well, that sends the Chief fans to the parking lot.
The happy Chief fans to the parking lot.
Yep.
6 turnovers, 3 interceptions, and 3 fumbles. And Dave Adolph's defensive unit has done some job tonight.
Well, they have. They have had so many changes back there. That time, Sterling Sharp, watch him. He's knocked off his feet as he tries to come across the middle. Favre is going to lead him. And it was Benny Thompson who took him out of the play. And it was Martin Bayless who opened tonight at strong safety for the first time this year. That made the interception. Dave Adolph has done a great job with this defense tonight.
Craig will do a number in terms of taking time off the clock, and he's helped out by Marcus Allen. He gets 6 to the 24-yard line, and Green Bay takes a timeout. They have 1 left.
Here's Sterling Sharp right here. Watch him come out right into here, and he is going to get crushed right here by Benny Thompson. The key here is he beyond 5 yards? And the answer is no, he is not. The ball had not been thrown yet, and that is a legal shot by Benny Thompson. You're allowed 1 chuck on a guy as long as it's within 5 yards and the ball has not been thrown. That was Edgar Bennett, rather. I said Sharp. That's Edgar Bennett. But you are allowed to take that shot as long as it's within the 5-yard range. And that was a good play by Benny Thompson.
I love that shot.
Yeah.
Neil Smith.
There's Dan Saliamua, who came in there on the right, and what a monster game he had tonight. Ran a fumble forced by Derek Thomas into the end zone for a touchdown, and then jarred the ball loose when Green Bay was threatening to take the lead.
2nd and 4.
2nd down and 4. 1 timeout left for Green Bay. It's conceivable Green Bay could get the ball back here because they can take 1 more timeout. And then there'll still be enough time on the clock for the Packers if they can hold them on 4th down to get it back. Marcus Allen doesn't go anywhere. The Packers will take their final timeout here. He is hit by Pop with 1 10 remaining in the fourth.
Let's go back and look at that last interception again. Right here is Edgar Bennett. Watch him come across right here, and here comes Benny Thompson. It's within the 5-yard limit, and let's check and see. I don't believe that Favre had thrown the ball yet before the collision. No, he had not. That is a perfectly legal play by Benny Thompson, and it all by itself results in that interception. Brett Favre is throwing to a guy who was there the instant before he released the ball, and then he was not, all because of him. And Benny Thompson started this game with a great hit on the opening kickoff. Remember that? And he finished the game with a wonderful hit on Edgar Bennett that resulted in a Packer turnover.
And Dan, it just caps off a great night by this secondary. It was totally revamped coming into tonight's game.
And in between, Benny made a visit to the hydrant. He may have started a fad.
Well, as we say, if the
I hope not.
If the Packers lose this game, they can look at an opportunity to score 28 points and coming away with 6. It's 3rd and 7. And Marcus Allen is going to be stopped, and they'll take the clock down as far as they can here. But twice they lose the ball at the 2-yard line as they're going in for a touchdown, and they settle for field goals from the 5 and from the 1. So you have an opportunity to score 4 touchdowns, and you settle for 2 field goals.
And nobody is good enough in this league to make those kind of mistakes and win. Nobody is good enough. And yet, look at the score. They're down by a touchdown. That tells you a little bit. First of all, it tells you a little bit about the Kansas City offense and their ineptness in the first half.
Chiefs here with a play clock going down on 4th down. They're not going to.
Well, they can run it out.
Well, they're not going to mess around. There's no sense in taking a field goal here because the worst thing in the world is a block and a run back. And they'll take their chances with a 4th down play. Even if you turn it over, Green Bay doesn't have a timeout, and you just trust your defense to hold them.
Has this been a long game, or is this my imagination?
It's been a very long game.
Just because it's Wednesday morning.
And a good game.
Yeah, it's been a good game. It has been.
Yeah, it has, but it has where a lot of our games have been coming in under 3 hours. This baby is 3:20 and counting.
I just heard a rooster. Here's Marcus Allen, stopped for no gain. And Green Bay will get it back on downs with 15 seconds remaining. You know, it's funny. You think about incredible, improbable finishes. Herman Edwards, one of the assistant coaches for Kansas City. We just had a shot of him on the sideline before. You talk about the most bizarre endings in the history of football.
The miracle at the Meadowlands.
It's hard to bring it up, Frank, but
that was Herman Edwards.
Joe Pisarcik.
Do remember.
Herman Edwards picked up that fumble and ran it into the end zone for a touchdown.
Changed a lot of lives, didn't it?
Yes, it did. It developed an entirely new offensive formation with that offensive player about 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
And look at this, almost another turnover. Neil Smith created the fumble, which is recovered by Ken Rutgers.
Yes, Neil.
Yes, Neil.
We love you.
He takes the bow, and the Chiefs will take a bow as they remain on top in the AFC West. As the Kansas City Chiefs go to 6-2. And the Green Bay Packers are 4-4. Final score tonight. Stadium in Kansas City.